It's championship night at Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania. We're giving away 4 titles tonight. Small blocks, big blocks, late models, and the Xfinity Series. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Night Thunder here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. The sun's starting to set in beautiful Pennsylvania. Chamber of Commerce weather, and we are so glad you could join us for all the action here tonight. Marty Sakala with you, alongside Shaggy Zach Chapman, trying out the new microphone, and you can hear the difference. We got qualifying just underway here at the moment, but we got a bunch of champs to crown here, and right now in the 358s, Anthony Morano, 30 laps away from winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, in the Open Series as well on the Monday nights, he's just been the model of consistency all year, Marty. It's kind of been amazing to watch. If he doesn't get involved in an accident, 9 times out of 10, he's finishing in the top 5. And here at Williams Grove, it's going to become a bottom favorite track here at the end. I expect him right up there to seal the deal.
So qualifying currently underway here at the moment. You're watching Brandon Templeton in the number 31. We'll watch Anthony Morano once Templeton comes across the start-finish line. He sets the bar on at lap number 1 at 20.75. Joseph Grandi, though, goes quick time of 26.9. Not bad of a lap. Sam Bachman now to the top of the charts at a 26.5. We'll check how the Ant-Man does at the line. Second quick at a 26.8. Jason Butterfield up to 4th quick at 20.72. Half a lap away from Morano here as Dean Reynolds pops up to 3rd on lap number 1 at a 26.5. Checkers are in the air. Randall Dixon up to 4th on lap number 2. Quick time, Dylan Kinsey at a 26.44. Look at the gap amongst the top 5, Zach.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, fixed setups, great drivers. You know, on paper, that is what we should get. But you know as well as I do, Marty, 9 out of 10 times that doesn't happen. So amazing. And here at Williams Grove, it's going to be tough to pass. But with lap times like that, it's going to be a competitive race.
Dan McLaren takes the checkers as he is 16th quick, 20.83. Dylan Kinsey is the quickest. Oh boy, 358s tonight are going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure. Heat 1 tonight brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Let's give you your starting lineup. On the pole, it's the salesman, Blake Chapman in car number 20. Next to Butters, Jason Butterfield in the number 93. Row number 2, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Next to Dylan Kinsey in car number 639. Row number 3, Matt Schaefer. He's in the 183 tonight. Next to Soupy, Dan McLaren in car number 88. Rounding out the grid tonight, Tyler Flynn in the 831. Fixed 358 setups here compared to Monday night when we ran the Monday Night Madness Championship. That's been open setups. But these are fixed throughout the Thursday nights. Here's how the format will go. Obviously, we just had qualifying take place. Inverting the top 4 prior to the green for heat. Heat races are 6 laps long. B-mains are 8 if we have them. And the features are 30 laps. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Megan checking in. What's up, Megan? Says hi, Marty. Hi, Zach. So there you go, Zach. You got your hi.
That's what I was going to say. I got my hello this week. That's nice. It's nice to feel wanted, Marty.
Yes, it does. So Megan obviously rooting for Dino here tonight. We'll see if he can start on pole. That's what the winner of heat race number 1 receives. A pole position berth for tonight's feature. Championship night set to begin here at Williams Grove. We're underway. Two by 2 and 1 and 2. Blake Chapman trying to come out with the edge. Jason Butterfield now clears Chapman to turn number 3 with Dino right on his tail. Chapman sent it in pretty deep off of turn number 4. Lap number 1 led by Butterfield. Dean Reynolds in second, but he peeks downstairs with a heck of a slide job as Dino gets into the fluff.
Yeah, and if you're a Mechanicsburg local here, you know that's one of the only ways to make a pass here at Williams Grove. You got to drive it in deep and throw that slider. It just didn't stick for him, but man, if Dino gets another chance, he knows what to do here.
Here comes Dylan Kinsey. Just came off the quickest lap by 1,000th of a second as we begin lap number 3. Reynolds tries to thread the needle underneath his ally driver. Could say as well over his teammate in Kinsey. As you see Dino trying to dive in the corner, nearly 4 wide off for turn 4. It's Butters edges out Kinsey by about 800ths at the line. Kinsey, though, the best driver on track, Zach.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really think we'd see a car make the bottom work this early, but thought it'd be a more late feature thing. But he is doing a good job of throttle control, and he's just hugging the bottom of the track, shortest way around. And I don't know, we may get a new leader here at the line, Marty.
That we do. Dylan Kinsey by 100th of a second sends it in with a slide job. Bump into the fluff. Contact between Butters and Reynolds, and we're 3 wide for the lead. Somehow nobody wrecked.
You're telling me Dino probably did the smart thing, checked out, but they're 3 wide again. He's not going to check out this time again, Marty.
Will they
finish line.
Will they be 3 wide the checkers? We're going to have to see. It's Butters, it's Kinsey, door to door in turn 2 for the top spot. Who's going to start on pole position today? We're going to find out in just a moment. Both of them send it in deep into turn number 3. 5 cars under a blanket coming to the checkered flag. Kinsey is loose. Butterfield gets it by 200ths.
What a finish. Way to kick off Thursday Night Thunder here, Marty. That really sets the bar high, man.
And that, my friends, is how you begin a Thursday night the perfect way. So we now move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Bear with me in case I made your ears a little bit loud. Heat 2 brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Here's how they line up. B-Temp on the pole, Brandon Templeton in car number 31. Next to him, it's the 5 and slide job, Isaac Salas. Row number 2, Randall Dixon in car number 011. Next to him, Sam Bachman in the 107. Row 3, Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Next to Michael Vitale in the 213. Rounding out the grid here tonight, it's Harold Klump in the 00. Trevor Giroux a little bit hyped up after that one. Thanks for checking in, Trevor, the Flyers fan. This front row will be key to watch out for. While the 107 of Bachman was second quickest in qualifying, I think it's going to be tough for him to get past B-Temp and Salas.
Yeah, you know, and we saw both lines working, and Brandon Templeton, obviously we know he likes the high side, but he can make the bottom work, and we know that 5 car, man, he can rip the lid with the best of them. So we're going to see a side-by-side battle here for 6 laps, I think, Marty.
54-point advantage for Murano coming in on Bachman. Bachman's going to have to hope for a miracle. Green flag is out. Heat dose underway. Salas gets through with a jump of Bachman, wasting no time, trying to go 2 for 1.5 a lap. That's the case. Now can he clear B-Temp for the second spot? We'll have to see here. Salas, Diamond's turn number 4 and leads lap 1. Bachman is clear for second. Then it's Templeton, Vitale, and Dixon. Bicknell to Bicknell for 4th.
Yeah, Isaac Salas with a great jump there in the beginning. Brandon maybe caught sleeping a little bit on that green flag start, but he's going to have to go to work here if he wants to get back by Samuel Bachman, because we know that 107, he's fighting for the championship.
Dixon washed up the hill for just a moment. That allows Vitale to clear. Bachman, quickest driver on track, 20.76 to Salas's 28. Stack them up in the back of the pack with Vitale just a twirly bit loose, followed by Klump, Dixon, and Schatzer, all racing hard as the front 3 have broken away.
Vitale and Klump, you said it side by side. The final 4 positions there side by side, really trying to battle it out. But up front, Isaac Salas, he's starting to feel the breath of the dragon here. 107's reeling him in.
Yeah, Bachman cut a 10th the last time by. How does he do this time? Cuts it down by half a 10th. 20.77 to a 20.79. And Bachman is in striking distance. Now, what's it going to take to get the lead from Slide Job?
I think it's going to take a surprise shot here in turns 1 and 2, because Isaac knows to protect in turns 3 and 4. He's not going to let the bottom open in the last lap. If he's got anything, he's got to go here. And he's just going to stay in line.
Final lap underway. Winner starts outside of row number 1. Salas or Bachman into turn number 3. Salas plays defense to prevent the Bachman slider. That's all it's going to take there. Off for turn 4. Salas takes the win in Heat 2. Bachman second, Templeton third, Vitale fourth, Clump up to 5th, Schatzer 6th, and Dixon 7th. One more heat left to go, brought to you by Glenridge Motorsports Park, home of the Dirt Car 358s on Sunday night. Dirt Car 358 Series will be making a trip to the Ridge this Sunday. Dino, unfortunately, I won't be making the trip. If we were running Fonda the night before, probably would be at Glenridge on Sunday night. Here's the lineup as it's Glenn Sharp on the pole position, the Glenridge Heat. Next to him, Logan Wentz in car number 118. Row number 2, it's Anthony Morano, the Ant-Man. Next to him, it's 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row number 3, the Breweton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to him, Canada Connor Ross, who took a wild ride last Monday in sprint car action. Rounding out the grid, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in car number 83. We saw some wild rides last Monday during championship night at Fallujah, especially in the Rebels when J.J. Odell took a ride that I think left everyone speechless.
Yeah, I was going to say the Odell wreck's the one that really stood out to me. So he stole that thunder. I was just telling my dad about that the other day in the garage. What a wild ride.
Green.
Final heat race set to go down at Williams Grove Speedway.
And look at Anthony Morano on the bottom. He's taking advantage of that low line, Marty. Almost 3 wide for first coming out, but just couldn't carry the momentum.
Morano loves the baby bottom at any track you put him at. Won the Open 358s feature here at the Grove earlier this season. He stays in third as Logan Wentz leads lap 1 over Glenn Sharp.
Yeah, I don't know how many people out there were paying attention, but when Isaac threw that slider in turn 3 and 4 to defend, that was the second fastest lap of the heat, so low line's got some speed.
There was some contact between Grandy and Morano halfway down the back chute, which sent the 32 sideways and was able to save it luckily. Connor Ross now tries to attack on 100 grand for the 4th position.
Yeah, Grandy's got to be a little frustrated. He was up there in 3rd and got a big run on the 99, rear-ended him a couple laps ago and checked up, lost a lot of spots. So he's trying to fight back. We know what kind of speed that 518 has. 3
wide for 3rd and almost was 4 wide in the corner. More contact. This time it's Sharp and Grandy banging Nerf bars, and Sharp's on the short end of the stick up in the chocolate chips.
Yeah, I think the 518 maybe felt like he was blocked before, maybe got the elbows out there. But hey, no harm, no foul. They're still rolling. Let's keep going.
2 laps to go in heat race number 2 for Logan Wentz. Last time by a 20.82. He is racking off laps that are bangers after bangers after bangers, as Seamus would say.
Yeah, and I kind of expected that 32 to reel him in a little bit, but instead he's got his hands full. That 518's going to work.
Final lap underway in heat race 3. It's a second lead for Wentz over Morano. The Ant-Man trying to hang on to second over Joseph Grandy as they make their way to turns number 3 and 4. Morano likes the middle groove, hoping that Grandy doesn't get past. Checkers are out. Wentz wins heat 3. Battle for a second. Morano over Grandy. Connor Ross 3rd. Jeff Barker 5th. Glenn Sharp 6th. Brandon Dittmer 7th. That will conclude our heat races. Ohsweken Speedway warm-up time. We'll step aside and take a break. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Welcome back to Williams Grove Speedway. Warm-ups continuing here, and the quickest driver on track, Dean Reynolds, a 27.94 by a couple hundredths over Logan Wentz. Hey, we were given earlier today the Week 13 schedule by the Bass man Roger Craig, and I think this is an awesome schedule that he's got set up here. All right, there we go. Almost lost it for a moment. So the Bob Light Memorial we've been talking about a lot. Pickup trucks Tuesday at the iRacing Super Speedway, and it's 77 laps. Shaggy will be broadcasting it here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Probably that's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I didn't. What time is that supposed to be? I don't think anybody asked me about that one.
8:30.
Because I start my pay league on Tuesdays.
Oh,
Marty,
yeah.
So I'm not gonna. Nobody asked me about that one, so I'm really sorry. I would love to do that, but I'm not going to be available.
I thought you were open for that, but yeah, that's right. Now that you say that, we also have as well Oswego will be a part of some dry runs. You don't want to miss out on that. That's for sure. So, all right, let's meet the field and give you our RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole position, it's Butters, Jason Butterfield in car number 93. Next to him, Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 2, Logan Wentz, he's in the 118. Next to Dylan Kinsey in the 639. Row 3, Sam Bachman in the 107. And the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row 4, the 79 of Dino, Dean Reynolds. And B-Top, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, 100 grand, Joseph Grandi in the 518 and Matt Schaefer in the 183. Row number 6, Michael Vitale, he is in the 213. And Canada Connor Ross in car 35. Row number 7, the Salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20 and Harold Klump in the 00. Row number 8, Jeff Barker, the Brew to Beats in the 513. And Soupy Dan McLaren, he's in car number 88. Rest of the grid looks like this. Row 9, Kurt Schatzer in the 218, Glenn Sharp in the 099. Row 10, Tyler Flynn, the 831, and Randall Dixon in the 011. Rounding out the grid tonight, it's it's the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. No call for Joseph Grandi to grid, so he'll start from the back of the pack for tonight's feature. Time for picks to win. Zach, you get to go first. Who do you got?
You know, it is not easy to pass at Williams Grove, but I think Dino. This is the night for Dino. He's going to win.
You think Dino's going to win? Give me Slide Job Isaac Salas to get it done. So Steve King Foundation pace car following the field. It's just about ready to pull her on to pit road. It's the Lucy Olson start, first feature of the night. We're about to crown ourselves a champ in the 358s. Jason Butterfield, Isaac Salas, the Venom teammates bring us the green. It's time to get it on. Whoa, look out, Logan Wentz. Hits the Uke tire, gets a bump from Morano, sends Steve plowing into the inside wall hard.
It's my fault, Dean. It's my fault.
That was ugly. And you can see no right front on the 79. It is completely gone, and he has cooked the engine too. Didn't even last a third of a mile, and that 79 is all torn up. It all starts with Logan Wentz on the 118, where, he caught the end of the guardrail and just sent him up the racetrack. Anthony Morano puts the bumper onto him. That's 3 full throttle teammates into 1. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's almost the worst case scenario for them. Luckily, the majority of them are still rolling, or I guess never mind. Seeing, oh wow, sometimes iRacing's a crime. Looks like the 118 got a spot back.
Well, I don't believe that Logan Wentz got sideways in that accident. I believe he actually kept it straight. He did get sideways. He didn't make the full 90-degree runaround, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, Wentz went up the track. Morano just simply did not see that coming, and freaked out just a bit.
Yeah, tough break for Dino, but it's been a long season for him, and he's excited about real life race season anyways, Marty.
He was excited because he got to hear me say top shelf for Mama Heights the cookies in person yesterday, or on Sunday.
That's what made him spill the ketchup.
That's probably what did it, indeed. And by the way, those were his exact words in the Venom Discord. Okay, we'll try this once again. One lap is complete. We revert to the starting lineup, with the exception of those that were involved, with the exception of those that spun out in the accident. Obviously, Dean Reynolds. Joseph Grandy did not take the green flag, so no sight of what is going on with the 518. But Butters Gonzalez will bring us back to the green flag, and this time Butters is able to tell us when the green flag flies. He goes now.
Green, green, green.
And that was a scattered start as the field makes their way into turn number 1. Salas nearly bumps his teammate for the race lead. And it's door-to-door for third. Dylan Kinsey looking for a run around the outside on his teammate in Logan Wentz. Wentz with a run on Salas for P2 off the corner. Lap number 2 led by Jason Butterfield. Here comes Salas for the race lead. Thinks about the slide job, doesn't go for it.
No, and he's got to get up there and shut the door on Logan Wentz, but now Logan Wentz is going to look low here going into 3.
3 FTM cars on the bottom, and that's 2 FTM, or 1 FTM car up top, and he saw Wentz just barely slot in line in front of Kinsey. Morano's going to try and set the bottom once again here. Behind him, his teammate Michael Vitale just racked off a 21:07. Those times obviously are about to go down. Through, look at this here, nearly 4 wide the corner. Blake Chapman knew well to back out of that.
Yeah. You're not going to win the race on lap 4, but you sure as heck can lose it. Blake's a smart racer. He's just worried about saving that tire and hoping the bottom comes in at some point in time because, man, Marty, it looks like everybody wants to be up top right now.
Anthony Morano with a run on Kinsey here for position number 4, but Kinsey gets the better exit. The 639 got held up by Wentz, and so Morano was able to get back on the gas first, but the 2, I think, just about touched once more.
Yeah, Morano maybe feels he's a little bit quicker, just going to give him a little clean bump, let him know, man, hey, you keep messing up, I'm going to have to force the issue.
Oh, big crash, head onto the wall, Brandon Templeton. 1 on 2 wheels, it was B-Temp, as well as the 213 of Vitale. 5 cars, 6 involved at least.
And a caution just came out 3 seconds ago. What was the flag man doing, Marty?
I think Barney is still a little hungover. Either that or he's tired and wants to take a break for week 13. Here's look, Templeton bumps Vitale, and it's just all of a sudden a stack up. And then Vitale came down on the Templeton. I would love to watch an alternate angle of that if we can. Let me see this from a wider. Can we get a wider shot on this, or is this the best we got? I know we have onboards here. There's the bump. And it did not. I don't think that looked intentional to me. You know, they always say if you hook someone in the right rear, that's intentional. Here's the onboard with Vitale. You see, he gets bumped out of the groove. You know, he's just trying to maintain control of the race car. That's just all that is. And a big lick that B-Temp took on board with the 31. Obviously, Templeton will think otherwise. But you don't want to be hitting head on, that's for sure.
No, yeah, and that's one of them where, I definitely don't think anything the 213 there did was malicious, but that's a case where you're a little mad, the guy got into you, and you don't want to give him any room, but man, you see, if he would have just gave him a foot of room, Marty, and just backed out of it, lived to race another day, he'd still be up in the top 10, and, it's how quick fates can turn, and now he's back at the back of the pack.
Hello to Kim, checking in en route for Isaac, currently in P2. Lights come off here, 1 lap to the green flag. Biggest mover right now at the moment is Randall Dixon, who started 20th. He's currently up to the 12th spot early. We're going to watch this coming restart here from the Chapman Racing drone. Here's how the field looks. Jason Butterfield, Isaac Salas, row 1. Logan Wentz, Dylan Kinsey in row number 2. Row 3, Anthony Morano and Blake Chapman. Row 4, Sam Bachman and Connor Ross. Rounding out the top 10, it is Matt Schaefer and Kurt Schatzer. Butterfield ready to fire whenever. Back to green we go. And immediately clears Salas off the gun. Oh, Morano clips the inside wall just like what Logan Wentz did earlier. And he loses a spot to the 107 of Bachman. Maybe even 2 spots with Chapman getting run on the outside. It's 3 wide once again with 107 as the meat in the sandwich. Butterfield continues to lead. Chapman up to 5th after starting 13th.
Yeah, and a perfect example of a guy we saw. You called it out, Marty. He backed out of a dangerous situation earlier coming out of 4, and you see the kid just was smart, raced his way up, and he's the only one hooking it up on the bottom. So that's a good sign for that kid. He's going to have a lot of track left here with 21 laps to go.
So Bachman has now switched lanes up to the high side. See if he can find a way past Blake Chapman. Obviously very tough to pass on the outside if the low line is not the place to be. Oh, Morano just got turned in front of a bunch of cars and hard in the wall. Went the 00 of Harold Klump, and a bunch of Hoosiers have flown. That is 4 tires on the track. Dino at this time has lost the left front.
And we saw Dino already had to use a quick repair, so that's going to be the end of his night. But Marty, you mentioned it earlier. Sam Bachman just get his miracle, or does Anthony have too much time left?
We're going to have to see what happens. I'm interested in seeing what the points look like when Spangler updates them. You see just a slight nudge from the 183, and it's a cluster you-know-what. Bunch of tires were gone. 1 from Schaefer, 1 from Reynolds. Look at all those tires flying. It's a tire sale going on in Williams Grove Speedway right now. Let's go on board Brandon Dittmer. Dino had absolutely nowhere to go, and then the lanes just started clogging up. Didn't see it coming. Tried any way to get to the outside, but nothing. Just nothing you can do there if you're Dean Zach.
No, just another incident of somebody else's misfortune. He can't buy a break, and he's so positive, But as well as I do, Marty, that really wears on you, and it's going to be tough. But he loves that big block, and he's going to answer right back in the next race.
So Morano moves to the back. He's currently scored in 15th. Dean is back on the racetrack. He got the left front is back on. Can you change tires now in iRacing?
I wasn't aware of that, but they obviously, maybe if you're missing one, they'll just throw it back on there for a safety thing. So have at it, Dean.
All right, we're back to greens. We're 10 laps complete. Salas caught hitting the snooze button on that restart. Blake Chapman stuck underneath. Here comes Dylan Kinsey for the 4th spot. Bachman may use this to his advantage, trying to get 5th. But we know Blake Chapman, he likes to use the low line for one reason, to save tires early.
Yeah, and he's relentless. He's going to go, but now Kurt Schatzer's actually going to throw it low on him in 1 and 2, and not going to have a big enough front here. If Blake wants to go back low, he can, but Blake, if he's going up top, it looks like it's a one-line racetrack. He's giving up on the bottom here, Marty.
How about your biggest movers of the night here so far? Kurt Schatzer started 17th. He's up to 7th. Randall Dixon started 20th. He's up to 9th at the moment. So he's the biggest mover. We'll get the 5 bonus points. Butterfield has still led every single lap in this feature tonight. Just got a bumper from Sala saying, hey, man, I'm there. And they actually got Butterfield sideways just a little bit. Teammates once again going at it with each other.
All right, man.
Caution waves.
Caution is out.
And this is for Brandon Dittmer. And that car is in the pits. So something tells me he either flipped it or put that out of the ballpark.
Oh, he didn't have a left front tire on it.
Ah. So he was actually trying to three-wheel it and bring it on to... Oh, man. Took out... He just ate that donut. No, not ate the donut. Swallowed that donut.
So, Marty, I'm the whole way on lap 10 when they were under caution. He hadn't had a left front tire that whole time.
Yeah, we were rewinding this to see how he lost it. This is guts. I mean, it does show you could actually three-wheel these modifieds.
Okay, so he lost it in the last caution, the lap 9 coming out of turn 4 when he ran into those guys, and he just didn't pit.
That kid's got heart, that's for sure. He's got guts and he's got heart. Heart from this. He had guts. How did he have guts? When he was just watching the race from the flip pit. I was hoping nobody else would hit him.
I couldn't believe it. I went back and look at that. He actually wasn't doing that bad. Either.
Yeah, you could actually drive that thing.
Yeah.
So while we wait to go back to green, let's take a look at the 5-lap average at the moment. For Butterfield and Salas, you know it's going to be a little bit tight, but the better race car happens to be both Wentz and Salas. You can say the same thing, too, for maybe a Jeff Barker or a Michael Vitale. But obviously, those drivers are mid-pack.
Yeah, I think the scary thing, though, for Isaac and Wentz are, they can't really get a gap on Kinsey, and obviously they aren't gapping each other, so it's hard to go for a pass if you're Isaac and risk not getting it, because right there is the 118 to take over P2, and same if you're Logan. Dylan's hanging out close enough that if he makes a mistake trying to pass Isaac and force the issue, he's going to lose P3, so you got to be real smart about it.
Approaching the halfway mark in just a bit. Butterfield waiting. We're back to green.
Green, green, green.
Who's the first driver to test the bottom out? Kurt Schatzer in the 218. We normally like to say he's the first one to try something out. Underneath for 6 on Blake Chapman. If he gets this spot, he would then have the provisional hard charger award, because him and Dixon would each be up 11 spots. And higher spot matters. We got trouble once again. And Matt Schaefer, believe it may be. Schaefer was running near the front. Oh, he looked low. Then he got, oh man, he just got elbowed by Tyler Flynn. And then the car wouldn't fire for some reason. That's very strange. Try to turn all the way to the bottom. That's a situation where he wanted a yellow flag to come out. He got it just in time.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, though, and I'm not trying to call anyone out, at the same time, I mean, you kind of want to respect the racing. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And, I've gotten in trouble for things similar. And, like you said, no, not pointing any fingers. But I'm sure it'll be looked at. But, it's you live and you learn. It's not going to end your night. But like you said, you want to let the guys up front race it out. plenty of times people like you and I have benefited from people spinning out, and sometimes you get lucky with it, and sometimes you're the guy who spins out. You just got to take your medicine some nights.
So what are these restarts doing right now for a guy like Jason Butterfield? He wants to get back racing, but like same with Isaac Sauce, but these cautions, they have to be frustrated by it.
Yeah, I think if anyone's frustrated, it's really going to be Isaac. We talk about it every night, Marty. It's so hard to get a good restart with the leader. Restart the jumps on the leader, so they get to go whenever they want. And unless you're a mind reader, you're always going to have that little bit of a delay. So normally it takes you a lap or two to make that up, especially at a long track here like Williams Grove. These straightaways, if the leader times it perfectly, you got a lot of gap to make up. So Isaac's got to make sure he's got his head on here.
Green flag, green flag.
Back to green. So Butterfield again, holding serve with the lead. Schatzer trying underneath. Not really a lot of places to go at the moment. Everyone just all single file. Not a lot of racing we're seeing at the moment here, Zach.
No, really, the only person in jeopardy right now is that 118 is Dylan Kinsey. He's looking low here. He does have a fender going down the backstretch, but I don't know if he has enough to throw a slider here.
You see, he's trying to go for the pass at the same time while trying to hang on to the high side as much as he can. But look at how good this high side is. Bachman's got to run for fourth. It's like this. It's like the track is taking rubber where you cannot pass.
Yeah, that's why I said it's so scary if you're Isaac or you're Logan. You got to know you can complete that pass. So we saw Dylan. He tried to look low, be aggressive for P3, and good run coming out of 4 there. Surprisingly, actually able to hold on. He may have found something down there, Marty.
That was a risky move by the 639. See if Bachman can fight back. That machine is pulling away at the moment. And the top 5 spots remain unchanged. Meanwhile, Salas looking for the race lead here. Pulled him to the corner panel, but just couldn't get it to work. Now he has Logan Wentz all over him. It's next time by, there will be 10 laps to go.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That 118 in his back pocket, and that's going to make that pass for the lead that much harder. He's got to be smart about this. He's got to try to diamond off 3 and 4 like he is right here, carry a lot of momentum, and just go for a slider that, just like you like to say, Marty, throw a slider from hell and just park it on the guy. That's the only way you're going to pass here at Williams Grove.
When did Salas possibly try it on his teammate? Obviously, he doesn't want to take him out. Do you think they go until they know they've got the win in sight?
I'd love to say that, but we both know how good and aggressive Isaac can be. If he sees an opening, Marty, he's going to go. And we just saw the 118 get in the wall there. That gives him a little bit of a cushion. If he gets a big run, he might throw it here in the next lap or two, Marty.
Best car on the racetrack. Yep, yellow is out. Best car on the racetrack was Blake Chapman in 6th. Harold Klump and Brandon Dittmer bring out the yellow. Let's show you what happened. Racing the back of the pack for a position. Klump stops. And then what about Dittmer? Oh, a lot of contact. Dino and Schaefer got together, and Dittmer, I think he actually may have gotten DQ'd. So it may have been because Harold came to a stop on the track.
Yeah, I think we saw a couple people hit the incident point limit tonight. I believe that's what that was.
Yeah, the IL's going up tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, Klump came to a stop. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say about that, but.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say either.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I feel like I do got to address it because I did the other one. I mean, that one was definitely probably 10x worse than the other one. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we've seen some weird yellows tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I want to let it go, but man, the pit road entrance is 40 yards ahead of you. It's just if you just go a little bit more, you let those guys race it out up front. Man, it's just that kind of stinks when people do that. So you're Isaac Salas. You have 8 to go. You've got to get the best restart you've ever had, and at the same time, you got to hope that 118's sleeping.
Absolutely. It's Venom 1-2, 3-4-5, Full Throttle Motorsports, 6th KSR, 7th Hammer Down Racing, 8th Venom.
Well, Isaac caught sleeping a little bit on the restart there, Marty.
Allows Butterfield to pull away, but if there's something good about Salas, he knows how to make up time. Very round. We got another caution out. Tyler Flynn is spun. So that puts another lap up on the board. Here's a look. Descended too deep into Morano. That's all that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't really know what to compare it to other than maybe an F1 just kind of dive bombing a corner there. But, I mean, that was definitely, when he goes back and looks at that was way too aggressive there. The 32 owned that corner for sure, and that was a gap that was never there.
Morano really lucky to be able to keep that car straight.
Yeah, just add more incident points to the list, though, for that 32. And as we know, they affect your points.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting to see with drop weeks how he does. But Samuel Bachman, when I kind of expected when he saw the door open when his teammates spun out for him to get a little aggressive. But he was in 5th place when Anthony spun out, and he's maintained that 5th place. So it just shows how hard it is to pass here.
So should be 1 lap to green this time by, as it'll be lap 24 when we come back to the green flag. A reminder, big blocks are coming up next. Don't want to miss out on that, that's for sure. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat here. I appreciate you all joining us here tonight. You excited for next week, for week 13 with Oswego coming, Zach?
Oh, 100%. I'm never excited to spend money, but I'm excited to spend money on racetracks and iRacing. So, yeah.
Last time I was excited to spend money was when the big blocks and small blocks came out on iRacing.
Yeah, I'm
again,
with you
there
there.
was a lot of stuff in these past to begin the season, a lot of content to begin the season.
Lincoln was close to my heart. That was probably my favorite buy I've ever made.
Only issue, though, is still has the flagman.
Oh, I know, right?
Sorry, had to go there.
Green.
Back to green.
Yeah, and, another tough restart for Isaac there, Marty. But whoa, big move from Logan.
Watch that second spot very badly. It could even cost him. Here comes Dylan Kinsey. Watch the bottom step of the podium. Bailey for 3rd. Slides up the hill just briefly. And Wentz hangs on for 3rd with 6 laps remaining.
Yeah, 107 just not close enough to capitalize on Dylan Kinsey, and that's twice we've seen. So the 107 may be struggling a little bit. We're used to seeing him up there on the podium, but just not really a lot of speed in that 107 tonight.
5 laps to go at Williams Grove Speedway. Jason Butterfield has led every lap here so far tonight. I wonder if he got inspired by the big blocks at Weed Sport on Sunday to go out and do good. I'm not too sure, but he's got to try and hold off on the best of doing it in a big block. Logan just set it in deep and stacks up both Kinsey and Bachman.
You're not kidding. I thought that had bad news written all over it. I was worried for Isaac's rear bumper there, but Logan was able to make it stick, and Man, if Isaac's running out of time here, Marty, he's got to throw one in the next time he gets a big run.
Bachman and Schatzer the battle for 5th. That puts Schatzer up 12 spots and would get the bonus points for being the hard charger. Salas shows his nose. 3 laps to go in this one. Top 3 drivers all under a blanket. They started in the same spots. Bachman has crashed. Big implications. That may just about do it for this championship.
Yeah, that's going to put the 32's name on the trophy. I think Patrick's got the engraver out in the infield. I see him. I see him in there.
Here's a look. Oh man, McLaren just sent it in way too deep and just caught the FTM number 7. A lot like what we saw in that last caution flag.
Yeah, you know, you want to be frustrated with the guy who sends it in real hard, but there's so many different lines here, and if you can make it work, you can drive it in hard. We saw how close Logan Wentz got to Isaac Salas, but if you're going to drive it in that hard and be that aggressive, you got to make sure you're up on the wheel. And, you know, hate to beat up on people, but you always want to be aware, especially on championship, Marty, who you're racing and, you know, what the implications are. Is 4th place, 5th place really worth it sometimes when the guy's battling for the championship? You know, that's a personal decision, but sometimes you just get over your head and you forget who you're racing with.
This is only the 4th start this season in the Fixed 358 series for Jason Butterfield. Is tonight the night that he can get it done? This would be, and I mean, and you know, I have not said this yet, but I want to say it now because of how important these final few laps are. Jason Butterfield has never won in the Fixed 358 series. Think about who he's got to hold off here in both Isaac Salas and Logan Wentz. This is like Matt Rotz trying to hold on to the win over Bobby Perro. This is what it feels like right now if you're the driver of that 93. The longest 2 laps of Butters' life to try and get series win number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the last lap on Talladega. You're teammates until you're not. When it's trophy time, Marty, everybody wants their name on that thing.
Got to get the perfect restart of the night. If you're Jason Butterfield, fires, we're back to green.
And that's the restart Isaac Salas wanted. Logan, a terrible restart. Isaac can go to work here and feel comfortable second here.
When it does slide job, throw the slide job. He went deep there, cuts it down to a quarter of a car length. Final lap underway for Jason Butterfield. Is a Venom car going to victory lane? If so, which one? Salas wants to show that his nose underneath. Butters is going to have to play a hell of a lot of defense if he wants to win. Salas goes low. Slide job, no. He decides to keep the line. It's a drag race, the checkered flag. First time winner in Jason Butterfield. That is awesome.
Yeah, and Kurt Schatzer almost took P3 at the line. What a close battle for 3rd, but congratulations to Jason Butterfield. And I'm actually, Marty, on the timing here on iRacing, I'm showing that they tied Kurt Schatzer and Logan Wentz.
Are you kidding me? I have Wentz by 1,000th of a second.
Oh, man.
This is his 2nd career coast-to-coast Racing League victory. One back on June 8th at the dirt track at Charlotte in what I believe was an open race that time. But this is going to be a popular victory, that's for sure. And you got to give credit to Isaac Salas for the way he raced Jason Butterfield. As you look at your top 10, Scoring has Wentz over Schatzer, but Schatzer still gets the 5 bonus points for being the hard charger. Started 17th and finished 4th at the end. Also give credit to Randall Dixon from 20th to finish 9th. No call on the grid for Joseph Grandy, so he takes his 21st place finish. There you see how the rest of the field looks. Tough breaks for guys like Brandon Templeton, Connor Ross, Michael Vitale, and there was a lot of carnage here done tonight, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, wild night, but you saw when they let them race up front, we saw some good battles, and it was a good finish. But hopefully they learn their lessons here in the small block, and we get some green flag runs in the big block.
Absolutely. Let's begin with Logan Wentz as we talk to your top 3 finishers. We'll also talk to the champion here in just a bit. Logan, tough race when it came to passing wise from your perspective, but other than that, what positives do you take away?
Honestly, just trying to figure out more of the top line.
How did you feel about your race car, though, as a whole?
Honestly, I was kind of shocked after I smoked that inside wall on the start. I kind of thought the car was going to be screwed, but it honestly handled a lot better than I thought, and it brought me home third, so I can't complain.
I wanted to ask you that, too. What happened there?
I just entered way too early and smoked the inside wall.
But it was a good run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to give shout-outs to Casper Flagstone for keeping me employed each week, the boys over at FTM for giving me a spot to race on their team, Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Swan Speed Shop, MDI TV, and obviously you guys at Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race and giving the people at home a place to watch.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best luck in the big block.
Thanks, man.
Let's go to our second place finisher here in Isaac Salas, and we will let Zach take this one.
Hey, slide job, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man, heck of a job tonight. It seemed like every time you'd think about throwing a move or you'd get a gap between you and that 118, a caution would come out. Just talk to us about this, the frustrations, all the cautions.
I mean, I won't lie to you. Like, I think I'd be a lot more frustrated if it was like anybody else than a teammate. So I mean, that part made it kind of awesome. But yeah, I mean, every time I like finally felt like I had something for Jason, his was like, nope. So I was like, okay, well, never mind. I'll try again.
Well, you said it, man. It always soothes the burn a little bit when a teammate beats you. But did you ever think about throwing it and parking it on there in 3 and 4? Or was the move always just, hey, if I can get it to stick on the bottom, I'll steal this thing. But if not, Butters ran a good race.
Yeah, he ran a great race, man. We were kind of talking through it the entire time and following the track together and helping lines. And I knew that I was going to try to have to use the bottom of 3 and 4. And I threw it into 3 and 4 on that last lap. And I was like, oh, man, I'm up here. And then I got to like the slick coming out of 4, and all my momentum that I had like gotten to get up in front of him just went gone, and he just went right on by. And I was like, well, I gave it a run.
Well, hey, man, nothing wrong with a P2, and I'm sure we'll see you back here in the big block. So hopefully we see you go 2 for 2 tonight. But congratulations, Isaac. You got anybody you want to thank on the P2?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, big shout out to Venom Racing tonight. That's a 1-2. I know Dan took a safety EOL and got himself all the way up to 7th. So it's good to see some good runs out of the fellas. Dean and Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Got Your 6 Racing Network, Arson Trackside, Coast to Coast, and everybody that's here and runs the races and I mean runs the league and everything. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. Mission 22, I even have my Mission 22 shirt on today, so that's pretty awesome. My Gramson Top Notch Truckin', I know he's watching tonight, so that's pretty sweet. Thank you guys for the broadcast, you and Marty. So it's a dream team to see these 2 names pop up. And then yeah, and other than that, thanks to I know my mom's watching, I know Kelsey's watching, so thanks to you guys, and yeah, congrats to Butters on his first win.
Well, hey, congrats, man. One quick question before you get out of here. Do you even think about running a small block, or is it big block all the way in this next?
Oh, buddy, it's big block. You see how long those straights are?
Alrighty, well, Isaac, we'll let you go. Congrats, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So Isaac Salas finishes in second. Let's talk to a first-time winner in Jason Butterfield. I mean, I should mention, too, this is his first ever series win. First ever points win, too, as he previously won a Triple Crown race on Week 13. Butters, how does this feel?
It's great. It's a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
I need to ask you this as well, because you've got one of the best drivers behind you, and Isaac Salas. We know him for the slide job. What led to the decision to stay up high instead of go down low and protect the bottom, prevent a slider from happening?
Well, I just noticed, and he was telling me that, the top side was the place to be, and my line that, I was doing great running my line, so I figured I'd stay there. I kind of figured he was going to try a slide job or something like that, so I kind of kept an eye down low there, and when I seen him, I just tried to diamond that last corner the best I could.
What was your mindset throughout this entire race, starting from pole and obviously leading the most laps with this being a track that's very tough to pass?
Just to stay smooth, because that opening in the backstretch there in the wall, that's gotten me so many times.
How are you going to celebrate this one tonight? I got to ask you that.
I don't know. It's gonna. We still got one more race to go, so.
I know, but I know you're still going to celebrate even after the big blocks.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll do something.
You'll have Junior take your photo for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
I'll see if he can extract one out of there.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Oh, I got to thank all of the guys over at Venom Racing. Garofalo Imports, Brewer and Brewer, Dean with the Super Dirt Car Series, Otter Creek Lawnscapes, you guys for broadcasting, C2C for putting the league on, and most importantly, I got to thank my wife.
Well, congratulations, man. A lot of people in Coast to Coast are definitely happy for you. Well done tonight.
Yes, thank you, sir.
So Jason
Congrats,
Butterfield
Butters.
wins the race. I don't believe we've got the champ in the Discord. In fact, I don't even think the points have been updated. I think we're having some technical difficulties here. So once that's all figured out, we believe it's going to be Anthony Morano, or we expect it to be Morano. So if anyone's watching, somebody may have to tell Ant-Man to hop into the Discord when we come back from break. So stay with us. Big blocks coming up next, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a
hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we're getting set to go for big block action here at Williams Grove Speedway. Before we get to qualifying, let's have a chat with the champ and Anthony Morano. Anthony, congratulations. I know it's not the result you wanted with Spain out, but hey, dude, you're a champ once again. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. There was a bit of a rough run there for me. I know me and Dean didn't have the best luck out there, but yeah, definitely, another championship. Never go wrong with that. It's 2 for the season. So, got 1 more to go after tonight. See what we can do.
2 on the season. You sweep the 358s pretty much, as, of course, we had the open 358s Monday night, which you had already clinched. But now this. What does this say about you when you're driving when it comes to a small block?
These are cars I grew up with the most. When I was a kid going to like East Windsor Speedway in New Jersey, it was their main class, and then so I got to see these and understand how they work, and then I started working on them. So tweaking setups and stuff like that, and the help with like DJ over at FTM and Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, especially for the open stuff, and just help me adjust my driving style here and there, and doing whatever I could to get a little bit faster. And you see more of it from the other guys from FTM. They're getting better and better each week, and top 5s consistently. I mean, Logan just joined the team, and he's up there. So, we're all going to get there. We're moving up there, and we'll see how it goes next season.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to so we can get you out on track for qualifying?
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, everybody at FTM, Dean Super Car, Logan Heim on Lens, Gunnar Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim, Expert Installation, MDITV, you guys for doing the broadcast. I'm going to coast to coast.
All right, man. Congratulations. Good luck in qualifying in this race.
Thanks, buddy.
Anthony Morano, the small block champ, is qualifying now underway. Brandon Templeton currently the quickest at a 19.93. That may be our first 19-second lap of the night here so far, Zach.
Yeah, definitely. He hooked it up with this big block. It's all about, that throttle control. You think you just want to slam it. You can't do that. You hear Brandon just roll into it real good coming off the corner, and that's what gives it that good lap time.
Blake Chapman 5th on lap 1. Dan McLaren up to 4th on lap number 2. Isaac Salas 2nd on lap 2 at a 20.01. Let's see what the salesman has on lap number 2. Be 30 laps away from taking this championship. This could be a better lap for Blake. No, it's not. Off by a 10th, 20.33. Now let's go to Anthony Morano. Here are the points coming on in for Big Block Modifieds. Without the drops, 638 to 592. Morano 10th quickest. Brandon Templeton the quickest here in time trials. And so we are set to go racing. Let's give you the lineup here for heat race number 1, which is brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. On the pole, it's the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, the 32. Next to him, Sam Bachman in the 107. Row 2, Connor Ross in the 35. And B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row 3, it's the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. And Matt Schaefer in the 183. Rounding out the grid tonight, it's the Mayor, Steve Bixler in car 75. So we got one of your championship contenders here, and this is the best place that he could be right now. Starting first in Heat 1, Zach, with a chance at pole position.
Yeah, I thought maybe we doomed him there by interviewing him. He only had time for one lap, but that one lap put him P10. Perfect spot for the invert. He just needs Blake to get caught up in a little nonsense, and we might have a points battle in our hands, because if that 32 wins this heat race, man, starting first place, Marty, he's going to be the odds-on favorite to win this thing.
Alrighty, Steve King Foundation pace car on pit road. Green is out for the big blocks. Here we go. Morano gets away with the jump as you see Bachman trying to get the nice exit low line with the advantage early as Canada Connor moves up to P2. And it's Bachman in 3rd, Jeff Barker 4th, Brandon Templeton 5th, nearly hits a Uke tire just like he did back in his heat race. Connor Ross, though, wants the lead on Morano into 1, Zach.
Yeah, we've seen Connor Ross have a lot of bad luck these last couple of races, so he's going to press the envelope. He wants to start up front for this feature. He knows how important winning heat race number 1 is.
Ross able to clear Morano for the lead. Maybe not as he slid up just a bit. Morano able to keep at the quarter panel of Canada Connor. But that time, though, the quickest driver on track, the man in 5th, Brandon Templeton, as he wants 4th on the Brewerton Beast.
He's going to work on the bottom of Jeff Barker here. Not sure if he's going to be able to clear him here. Barker's going to get a big run out of 4, and he's actually going to take it back in the line. But I don't know how much longer he can hold up that 31.
Could that battle line maybe starting to dissipate possibly? Not too sure. Sam Bachman, though, trying to close in on both Ross and Morano as you're on board with the 107.
And he knows he's got to go because all of a sudden he's got a mirror full of that 31. He was able to get by Jeff Barker. Now he's coming, and you said it. He's one of the fastest cars we have on the tracks. He's got to go.
1 to go at the line. Bachman's got company from Brandon Templeton. We'll see what B-Temp can possibly do in the 107. 1 lap to go. Morano now trying to search for options. See if he can get around the outside off of turn 2 and close in just a bit. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. As they come through turns number 3 and 4, the Gambler 35 Canada Connor, Daddy's Money, whatever you want to call him. Connor Ross is on pole tonight. Anthony Morano second. Bachman takes third over Jeff Barker. Matt Schaefer fifth. Steve Bixler sixth. And Brandon Templeton seventh.
Yeah, they're going to be happy in that number 35 pit, but can't get too ahead of yourself. You got a long way to go, so you got to take it one lap at a time here.
Heat 2 brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. On the pole, Dylan Kinsey in car number 639. Next to him, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row 2, it's Dan McLaren in car number 88. Next to Slide Job, Isaac Salas in car number 5. Row 3, Logan Wentz in the 118. Next to him, it's the 011 of Randall Dixon. Rounding out the grid, Colin Cunningham in car number 47.
That's a new name. Not sure I've heard that name, Marty.
I believe he's made a start with us earlier this season on Thursday nights. I don't know, though. So, this is a stacked heat, though, when you look at this.
That's what I was going to say. Colin, for not racing with us that often, best of luck, man, because you have basically the top 6 in the feature possibly in front of you. So I wish you the best of luck. You know, with the bad luck Dean Reynolds had in that last small block, he wants this, Marty. He's going to race hard.
Absolutely does. We're ready to go green here for Heat 2 winner outside the front row for the feature. Side by side, McLaren wants the edge on Dylan Kinsey. Venom against Full Throttle Motorsports. McLaren sends it deep, nearly touches with Kinsey as McLaren pushed up tight. That allows Kinsey to lead lap 1.
You got to think, though, if you're that 79 after what you saw Connor Ross do, you want to stick on that bottom. You don't want to open up the door for that 5-5. If Isaac saw Connor do it, he knows he can do it. So 79 is the aggressive.
Kinsey gives Reynolds some breathing room, but who gets the advantage after lap number 2? Barely, it's Kinsey. I think Salas knows as well. I think he may try to follow Dean, but now he's exploring his options as Salas nearly turned Kinsey around.
Yeah, Dean's trying that bottom, but he's just overdriving entry a little bit. You can't float up that high in the middle. You got to sacrifice entry speed to get on that throttle early, and he did a good job of it in 3 and 4. As you see, that's how it pays off. You can't overdrive the entry in turn 1.
On board Salas, who holds his ground as Dean got a little bit tight contact. Dino may have blown a tire.
Yeah, Dino just floated up there a little bit too much in the middle. It just needed to be confident.
Oh, big crash for Dean.
Yeah, tough. He's gonna be fuming, but he's got a long feature to go here.
See if we can get a quickie look at what happened there. Dino and Kinsey just simply got together as Dino pushed up.
And right now on this white flag lap, Marty, the 5 car. Oh, he got hit from the 118 to Logan Wentz. Logan Wentz does the right thing, checks up to let Isaac regain it. And now he might lose a spot. Nope. Randall Dixon, or maybe.
Checkers are out here, though, in heat race number 2. Dan McLaren wins this. Dylan Kinsey second. Isaac Salas third. Logan Wentz fourth. Randall Dixon fifth. Colin Cunningham 16. Reynolds 7th. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Glenridge Motorsports Park. Here's the starting lineup. Michael Vitale on pole position, the 213. Next to him, Jason Butterfield. Butters in the 93. Row number 2, the salesman, Blake Chapman in car number 20. And next to him, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in car 83. Rounding out the grid, Tyler Flynn in the number 831. And Harold Klump in the 00. This front row going to be very key to watch out for. Same with Blake Chapman in second.
Yeah, and can't count out the Spider Monkey here. He's got all this horsepower under him, and we've run a couple laps here that I expect the top to start to come in during this heat. And anybody can run at that 83 can, so don't sleep on that guy. Blake knows if he wants to talk about popcorn tonight with us, Marty, he's got to have a good.
He's got
finish
to
here.
earn it. He's got to earn it, that's for sure. Winner starts inside of row number 2 for tonight's feature. Here we go. Good jump from Michael Vitale. He went up the hill. Blake Chapman, 2 for 1, possibly for the lead.
That
Vitale,
may be-
though, fighting back.
That's the quickest third to first pass I've ever seen at Williams Grove.
He got that blue light discount from Kmart to go for 2 for the price of 1. What a start by the salesman.
Yeah, he gets an amazing launch off the bottom and coming out of 1 going into 2. He's just got to throw that right rear up in front of Vitale. He tried there but wasn't able to get it done.
I think Vitale can thank Jason Butterfield for giving him a bump. That may have helped out Vitale hang on to the race lead, but Butters may want to go for it himself. Nearly 3 wide off for 2.
Yeah, we're starting to see the highest side come in a little bit, so as much as it's going to hurt Blake's pride, he's got to throw it in real hard. He's got to get himself off that bottom. He's running out of time.
He needs to throw a slide job right here. Hope he can't. Vitale may be able to clear Chapman off for turn number 2. There's still Nerf bar to Nerf bar. And here comes Brandon Dittmer to be a factor in this, Zach.
Yeah, and I think Blake's best friend right now is how aggressive Butters is there. In P3, he's really got Vitale in the gears.
They nearly got together. Race for the lead. Chapman able to clear Vitale. Up the hill. This may lead to Vitale to go for the crisscross off for turn 4. 1 lap to go. They touch for 3rd. Butterfield and Dittmer battle for that. Vitale tries to show his nose underneath. He's got a chance at it though off at turn 2.
Great run out of the middle of turn 2 here. Let's see what he has. Final times 2, 3, and 4. Blake shut the door. And it's all about the run coming out of 4 here, Marty.
Both of them set it in deep. In the end, the salesman takes the win. Give him the free shipping with Vitale 2nd, Butterfield 3rd, Dittmer 4th, Flint 5th, and Clump 6th. Let's step aside here and go to break. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Currently back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with warm-ups. There he is looking for Blake Chapman, who's 8th quickest. Brandon Templeton, the fastest at 22.91. So I can confirm here with Colin Cunningham here, Zach. Bill Calder said that Colin is new to the league as of May 21st.
Okay, cool. So he maybe ran once last week and I didn't realize it or wasn't around. But he's a newer guy. Well, we're rooting for you, Colin. Definitely a good group of guys. Just please, if you wreck, maybe park it in the pits, not on the track.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
You saw that too? You were
Yep.
watching Dino?
Yep. Runaway
That was
tire.
wild. Yeah, that tire's still rolling.
Don't know where that tire went. It's probably going back to see its owner. All right. Let's meet the field and give you your RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole position, and at number 35, it's Daddy's Money, Connor Ross. Next to him in the number 88, it's Soupy, Dan McLaren. Row 2 in car number 20 is the salesman Blake Chapman. Next to him, the Ant-Man Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 3, Dylan Kinsey in the 639. Next to Michael Vitale in the 213. Row number 4, Sam Bachman in the 107. Next to him, it's Slide Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Rounding out the top 10, it's Butters, Jason Butterfield, the 93, and the Burton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 6, Logan Wentz in the 118. Next to the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row 7, Matt Schaefer in the 183, and Randall Dixon in the 011. Row number 8, Tyler Flynn in the 831, and the salesman, Steve Bixler in the 75. Rounding out the grid, row 9, Colin Cunningham in the 47, and Harold Klump in the 00. And in row number 10, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Alrighty, your pick to win, Zach. Who do you got?
I really want to pick my teammate, Connor Ross, but Connor, I don't want to jinx you. I'm going to go with Blake Chapman here instead from P3.
You go with Blake tonight? Alright, give me Isaac for the win on this one.
Hopefully the boys and girls got all the cautions out though. That last one, Marty. Maybe we can get some long green flag runs here. Be interesting track here with the big blocks. We'll have 2 lanes, maybe not in the middle part. But we'll have 2 lanes by the end.
Hopefully that is the case. Lights are off. We go green this time by.
And Anthony Morano just lost his connection.
Oh man, that is a heartbreak. And so that pretty much gives the championship to Blake Chapman regardless.
He is reconnecting now, so as much as we don't want it, Marty, he wants a caution right now.
He wants a caution valley, that's for sure. So, because 1 lap down is better than 2. So, all right, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Big Block's about to throw down at Williams Grove. It's time to get it on.
Already 3 wide for the lead for a second there coming out of 2, but Blake does the smart thing.
Caution.
And Anthony Morano gets his caution.
Jason Butterfield, Tyler Flynn, Harold Klump, Logan Wentz, 4 drivers involved early. Tough break for Logan, that's for sure, or excuse me, for Butterfield. So for the second straight race, Logan Wentz is a part of the first yellow. Oh, bad neck code from a blinking Schaefer. And got put in the infield. I think that may have stacked up the field.
Yeah, and surprise, surprise, the 79 with nowhere to go again gets involved in that. And at least he's got all 4 tires on it this time. But man, he's a magnet out there tonight, Marty.
Man, somebody took a lick there. I think that may have been a Harold Klump that got on 2 wheels possibly. Yep, that was. All 4 wheels off the ground. So everyone will reset here. So the race leader will be Dan McLaren here.
So something interesting I just caught, Marty. Going into turn 1, Connor Ross hit the inside wall. He pit. That is why he is no longer in the top 3. Connor Ross, left front was broke. He pulled it in the pits and used to split repair.
So it's going to be a long 30 laps, that's for sure. Connor better hope for no cautions here if he wants to get back in this. All right, we'll try this once again. Dan McLaren, Blake Chapman, Michael Vitale, Dylan Kinsey, Isaac Salas, the top 5 as we come back to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
Jason Butterfield just got back on track. However, though, he is, I believe, scheduled a lap down, if not tail end of the lead lap. As McLaren clears, Vitale wants third from Kinsey and grabs it away. Salas gives Kinsey a little bit of a Bristol bump and run. Wanting the 4th position, way too close to the line. Actually, give it to Kinsey.
Michael Vitale threw it in there real hard, almost got into the middle of, or got in the back of Blake Chapman, but Blake Chapman with an amazing exit off of turn 2.
Oh,
Man,
leaders get together! Oh my goodness, McLaren's in it!
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution
Yeah,
is out.
Soupy hit the inside wall, broke the left front, nowhere to go for the 20 of Blake Chapman, and huge wreck from there. Wow.
That was ugly. We had a couple of other wrecks we need to show you here too. This one in the back of the field, I believe. Randall Dixon, Steve Bixler, Colin Cunningham, Harold Klump. This did not bring a yellow flag out. Unless that was just the drivers all resetting. Yeah, I think that was the case. Here's what happened with McLaren and Chapman. They were side by side for the lead. McLaren right there catches the inside wall and boom. I think that Chapman's going to stay as the leader here.
Yeah, he's going to inherit the lead, but you got to wonder how much damage he inherited from that. He licked that 88 pretty good. I imagine that thing's not at 100% right now.
Want to see my reaction to that? Go back to the Facebook video I posted earlier today showing Rich Fleck and I shocked during the CRSA feature.
Yeah, now that everything's all said and done too, Marty, I believe Anthony Morano, he's on the lead lap.
That is a good point, back in 15th. And Jason Butterfield is going to like that yellow because he gets back on the lead lap and stacks back up with the pack.
Wait, no, I lied. SDK lied to me. He's a lap down. I was wondering what was going on. That it fixed it. Okay.
All right, we'll try this once again as we come back to the green flag. 3 laps in the books. Blake Chapman to restart as the leader. Vitale cut off Salas there on that restart. Let's see if Kinsey can go for that runner-up position to turn 3.
And if you're Blake, that's the dream restart for you. You get a great jump and let everybody else go to work on the guy in P2, and you just pull away. Goodbye, salesman. Oh,
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, man. Darn.
McLaren was just trying to merge in safely, and unfortunately, iRacing takes notice, and that brings out the yellow flag. Here's a look at it. Comes back on track. Yeah, he didn't realize until there all the traffic going by. So that's just the situation. Oh, we had another wreck. Logan Wentz pancaked into the wall behind him. We cut away from that. Right on board with Logan here. What on earth happened to him? Catches the wall, a lot of contact, one with Brandon Dittmer, and just lost control. Man, that's a heavy impact. I think that Bicknell chassis may have gotten stuck on that guardrail to the point where he had to tow that thing no matter what.
Yeah, and he had already used a quick repair. I saw he disconnected from the session, so he's going to lick his wounds and call it a night here at Williams Grove.
The race leader when we come back to green flag action is Blake Chapman in the 20. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us here tonight. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Another reminder as well, when we get done here tonight, we're going to say goodbye on Slide Job Racing Network, but when we come back, our friends at Extreme eSpeed TV will be taking over the late models and Xfinity series portion.
You know, Marty, between you and I, we talked about Dino a little bit, being real fast in warm-ups. Look at that, up 12 spots. I mean, he got involved in that one, but he survived it. Not any damage, and he's up to 8. So good for Dino. He's mounting the charge.
Yeah, he is your biggest mover on track. Second biggest mover is up 7. It's the man in front of him, and Randall Dixon. All right, all restarts rest of the way. Single file, we come back to green.
Five cars looking for P2 in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He's able to carry enough momentum to keep that fender there, Marty, but not enough for his slider. As the 215 shuts the door.
Salas looking for some bite off the corner. Oh, one in the wall. I think that may have been Butters on the 93. He's back in the 16th spot. We stay green, though. Salas decides, you know what, it may be time to switch to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. For second off for turn 2, he is there. Got out front by a bumper into turn number 3. Now can he secure it at the start-finish line? Oh, yes, he can.
Yeah, he found something up there, and if Blake doesn't get his eyes up in that mirror and adjust, I don't know how much longer that 20 is going to be able to hold on, because that 5 is a rocket ship right now.
Jason Butterfield on pit road. We stay green after reports that he crashed the Venom 93. Let's get some other action here on track. We're watching the race for third 2 with Battalion Kinsey. We also have Randall Dixon, Connor Ross door-to-door for 7th into turn 1.
Yeah, and we saw Connor Ross. He was your pole sitter tonight, but damaged that left front turn 1, lap 1, and had to go in for a quick repair. So he's going to be frustrated with himself. So he's showing a lot of speed. He's going to wonder what could have been, Marty.
Battle for the lead. New leader Isaac Salas off for 4.
And he's able to lock it up. Blake, we talk about it in every race. He loves to save that tire, but at some point, if you think we're going to have a long green flag run, you got to go for it. And the 5, he just senses it, and it's time to go.
Here's a replay. Salas around the outside through turns 1 and 2. Chapman good on corner exit, but then we saw Salas just get out there by a bumper entering turn 3. Takes the lead of the race.
Yeah, and Blake finally went up there and shut the door on Dylan Kinsey. He's going to roll around the high side in 3 and 4. He's going to stay up there in 1 and 2. So he learned his lesson. It just took him a couple laps.
You watch from the rear end perspective, and there is nearly heavy contact between Kinsey and Blake Chapman. Let's get some other racing on the track. Dean's lost a bunch of spots. You mentioned he was hard charger. He is now down to 12. Brandon Templeton, the biggest mover, up 10 spots. Dino's lost 5 spots since the last restart.
Yeah,
Something's going on with that 79.
Oh!
Wow. And somehow that car is still crab walking. I don't know. Brandon Dittmer's
Yeah.
also crashed too. We stay under the green flag, and that will bring the yellow flag out likely. Not yet. Race control is going to keep it going for now. Dean's trying to limp it onto pit road, and somehow he does. It's been a frustrating night, that's for sure. Other action on the track. This is for 6. Randall Dixon started 14th. Hold the thought. Yellow for Morano. Man, a lot of stuff broke out there under that green flag run. Let's show it all to you. We begin with Colin Cunningham in the 47. Caught the wall on the back straight when it opened up. And put it on pit road, said I'm done. This is Jason Butterfield. I think he was trying to bring this car onto pit road. Yeah, that was the case. Let's see what happened with Dino. What? He just completely sent it to the right.
Yeah, and
That is
you know,
now that's confusing. That is not like Dean.
No, and I tried to do some homework and I rewinded, you know, the last 4 laps. That's kind of why I was sitting here quiet. Dittmer was never really anywhere near him. So unless something maybe happened earlier in the race, I imagine that was an accident for Dina. That's not like him.
And then we saw Dittmer wreck, and then we saw Morano lose the left front. They go into turn 3, completely lost it. There's probably a lot of angry SOBs out there right now.
Yeah.
That they're not having
Yeah,
a good performance.
No, yeah, there's a lot of people upset, and then there's a lot of people wondering what they did to make the guy upset. So there are going to be some conversations had after Williams Grove, I imagine. And then I didn't even realize after Dean and Dittmer got together there, Dittmer ended up getting in the backstretch wall and then coming down in front of Anthony, and that tore up 2 cars there.
So we are ready for the restart as we are at the halfway point. Let's look at the 5-lap average. Show you who the better race cars are, and you can clearly see Solis is the man out there. And it's followed by probably either Dylan Kinsey or Brandon Templeton.
Green, green, green.
Another great restart for that 5 car, Isaac Salas. He's able to just, 3 or 4 car lengths from Blake almost on that restart. That's a dream.
Dylan Kinsey tried for second on Blake Chapman, didn't work, and now Jeff Barker may be getting swallowed by this pack because he's stuck on the inside. Connor Ross wants to take away the 7th position on the track. But now Chapman, he's swapped downstairs. I wonder if he may be saving tires.
The kid's relentless, man. He's, him and the 32, they just have a beautiful ability to milk that bottom line. Even if it doesn't look like us, there's anything there, they find a way. Just amazing throttle control. I just don't know if right now the bottom's going to win you the race.
Chapman got a nice exit there off at turn 2. He could maybe have second. If not, he'll lose 3rd likely.
Yeah, he just maybe had to back out of it there in the middle of the corner, and Vitali's going to beat him at the line. So he's got to figure something else out on the bottom, or he's got to get back up top. Connor Ross, though, was able to get by Randall Dixon. He's up to 6th place. So, man, once again, that kid, he's going to be kicking himself after that first lap mistake. He's got some speed under the hood of that 39.
How about B-Temp at that 31? From 19th up to 8th, just past the Brute to Beast on the track. Now wants to get by Randall Dixon, who's also on a good charge of his own for 7.
Yeah, it's just, it's really hard. Everybody's running up high right now, so you need the guy in front of you to maybe make a mistake and give you some breathing room on that high side. You really don't want to have to duck down low and make a pass right now. As I say that, for 31, he's going to look for it and try, but I think he's going to be frustrated a little bit.
Not looking out for him. So it's Salas still out in front. Decides to use the neutral groove. Out in front by 0.8 of a second on Dylan Kinsey. Salas started 8th in this race. Keep in mind that too. So he's been on quite a good charge of his own tonight too.
Yeah, and nothing against Brandon, but we always talk about it. It's no disrespect, but it's normally easier to pass 15th through 10th, than it is 7th through 1st. So congratulations to Isaac. He's had to go through the big names to do it. You said he went right back up top here, but those past couple laps, he's just running conservative. He's got a big enough lead. He can save the tires a little bit now in case we have a caution.
7 laps to go here in this feature. Obviously, that would change everything. Vitale trying to take away 2nd from the 639 of Kinsey. Don't be alarmed. Salas just have some netcode issues right now.
And you don't really like it when the guy's racing around you, but when the guy's got a 2nd lead, you can't complain.
Connor's lost the left front. Sorry to interrupt you there, Zach, but Connor Ross has lost the left front. Trying to get this car going, decided to take it to the back just to be safe than sorry. And I think he may have just quit out of iRacing. And that is the case, so we stay under the green flag for now with 5 to go for Salas. Go ahead.
Right now, Steven Bixler, though, he's on 3 wheels, and here come the leaders, Marty. Is he going to be able to make it to pit road? Yes.
No caution
Good job,
flag.
Steven.
4 to go for Salas. With a 1-second lead on Dylan Kinsey, we continue to watch the battle for 2nd. Can Vitale find a way to get the runner-up spot from Kinsey?
He's going to throw everything he has, but we've heard him in interviews. Michael Vitale is one of the classiest guys I've ever talked to. So if he's going to pass you, he's going to do it the right way. And, man, that's hard to do here at the Grove.
3 laps to go. It's going to be some tight racing down to the end. It's all about diamonding the corners, especially turns 1 and 2. Can Kinsey hang on? Two to go for Salas.
And Isaac's just praying this thing stays green. He's easily got this thing locked up. The real battle here is for P2, and if Vitale's got anything, he's going to have to do it before turns 3 and 4 because I think Dylan Kinsey knows to protect.
6th star this season for Salas. He's a lap away from win 1 in the small block this year. We watch the battle for 2nd. Can Vitale take it away from Dylan Kinsey? We'll have to see, but off for 2. It's the Venom Racing Super Dirt Car Series Magna Race Design number 5 through 3 and 4. We're about to do some salsa dancing tonight. Slide job. Salas takes the checkered flag and wins. Kinsey edges out Vitale for 2nd. 4th, Blake Chapman. That'll give him the championship. 5th, Sam Bachman. 6th, Randall Dixon. Templeton 7th, Barker 8th, Club 9th, Marano 10th. Biggest mover tonight is Templeton from 19th to 7th at the end here. As here's a look at the field here. Tough breaks from both Marano and the guy that finished in 12th or in 11th in Dean Reynolds. Same with Dan McLaren. Connor Ross started on pole, finished 14th after losing a Hoosier tire. A reminder, we'll have the late models coming up next here. Our friends at Extreme eSpeed TV will be broadcasting that. We already have Michael Vitale. We'll bring him into the room. Zach Chapman will let you take this one.
Hey, Mike, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you, Shaggy.
Well, you getting on the podium in these things is it's becoming a weekly occurrence. So congratulations on that. But did you think you had anything for Dylan there for P2 there at the end?
I was trying. I'm not going to say I wasn't. I thought I was maybe a hair faster, but he ran the perfect line just to keep me in check. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I kind of and take this as a compliment, Mike. But you're a good guy in this league, and I talked about that during the broadcast. You weren't going to move him out of the way to take P2. You're not known for that, and he did what he had to do to hang on to it. But man,
Yep.
Mike, you showed a lot of speed tonight. Congratulations, and like I say, you're becoming a common name in here. So, who you want to thank on that podium finish tonight?
Well, I want to thank my wife first of all, Billy Roberts, my teammate over at Gears Unlimited, Jake, Randy, and Nick, my other teammates. You for broadcasting and Coast to Coast for allowing me to race here week in and week out.
Well, congratulations, Mike. We love having you here, and good way to end the season with a podium here. We going to see you in week 13 for the fun races?
Absolutely.
Sounds good, Mike. Congratulations.
Thanks again, Shaggy. Have a good one.
So Vitali finishes third. Dylan Kinsey, let's talk to him, your runner-up finisher. Dylan, a great run for you, man. Starting fifth, finishing second. How did you hold off Vitali in those final laps?
Just hit my marks. I knew he was there the whole time, and I was searching a little bit at the end, trying to break away from him a little bit, but I don't know. The track was weird. I don't know. It didn't feel like there was a lot of grip out there versus the 358 race. That track in the 358 race was just great all over, but I don't know. I just hit my marks and stayed off the wall.
Seems normal as well at the same time, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about this, but it seems a little normal at the same time that this track is tough to pass, very high side dominant here.
Yeah, it is for sure. Like everybody's seen in 358, if you got off that high line, you were getting freight trained if you didn't get back up there quick enough. Kind of the same thing. I think the lanes moved around a little bit. I seen Isaac hit the bottom a little bit late. He just said it was there. But I didn't want to try it because Vitali was so close. But yeah, this track, it's just, I don't know. It's not my favorite track just because of how it is. It's all up top, really.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Oh, everybody at FTM. Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car. You, Marty, and Chapman for the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight and finishing second, and hopefully we see you in week 13.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there Monday night.
Awesome. Well, we'll go to your winner now in Victory Lane, and Zach Scott, Isaac Salas.
Hey, Isaac Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Sir, I do.
Well, able to go from P2 up to P1, man. What a showing so far tonight. Does it help whenever well, first off, let's address, normally you battle for these things. You haven't made every race. So, you weren't in the points battle this year. But does it make you work that much harder to get the lead when Blake's sitting up front, the points leader?
No, actually, a little birdie told me that you didn't pick me to win. So,
Marty did.
That's what inspired. I know. I heard you didn't.
See,
though,
it
so
always
I
works.
just
It
me,
always
okay.
works.
I'll take it though.
See,
If that was the spite, I mean, hell, I'll never pick you again if I make you win.
Well, what they did is they're like, yeah, they picked Blake to win. I was like, well, Blake's in front of me. So then I really had something to race for since I couldn't race for championship wise.
Yeah, as
But
hard
it was
as
fun though. I mean, it was a crazy track.
It was. Tell me about it. As hard as it is to pass here, though, were you surprised you were able to get up to the lead? I mean, we know you got the talent, but let's be real. This kind of turns into a train track here at the end. It's that way in real life. It's slide or die. I mean, but you made it work.
I know. Yeah, and what it was is there was just the bottom started going away, man, and I got pretty lucky that nobody else was kind of going up there. So that was it helped out a lot, man. When you don't have to deal with traffic and nobody really understands that you're kind of coming really fast on top, it gives you a free lane to kind of experiment and see how see the boundaries of what you can do. So that was a lot of fun, and some of those unfortunate wreck in front of me even. So there was damaged cars in front of me that even helped me with some spots. So it's a mixture of things to get up there for sure and win these.
Yeah, it takes a good mixture to win these things. You can't always do it on talent alone, but man, you were able to show off your stuff. We know Gramps is out there watching, man. So give us the rundown here, Isaac. Congratulations.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like a broken record, but that's the goal here. I want to sound like a broken record, cheering all these guys on that support the crap out of me. So, but just a big shout out to Venom Racing. That's both wins and mods tonight, so that's pretty awesome. Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, for sponsoring us and sponsoring me especially, so that's awesome. Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, RSN Trackside with Marty. Also, Marty, you're doing great in all the announcing in real life. It's been really fun. It's been really fun to watch you on Dirt Vision.
Did you get your shout out Sunday?
Yeah, heck yeah, man. I was loving it. I won't even lie to you. I was fangirling. But yeah, I mean, other than that, thanks to like the Coast to Coast for the league. It's like I said, we do this every week, so it's a lot of fun. Mission 22, top notch trucking with my Gramps. You guys again for the broadcast, my friends, my family. Kelsey for watching and supporting and texting throughout the entire heat race and between the feature and the heat races and everything else. So, but yeah, thanks fellas.
All right.
Hey man, well, congratulations. I'm speaking for Marty. I know he feels the same way, man. Your family, we love you, and we're always happy when you win. That's for sure.
Awesome, thanks, fellas. Well, if it makes it feel any better, when I get to talk to you guys, it's a whole lot of fun, and it makes my day. So.
All right, Isaac Salas, your champ. Congrats, or your winner. I'm sorry. Congrats, man.
Yeah, just the winner, Congrats to Blake on the championship. Later, guys.
Yes, later. Let's talk with the champ in the salesman, Blake Chapman. Blake, you did it in the modifieds, man. How does this feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, Marty. I wasn't expecting this coming into the season. I didn't even think I was going to be running these things, but usually I try to hit every Monday night and every Wednesday night too for Hometown Heroes, but I didn't like the adjustments iRacing made to those cars and running at Lanier. I knew I had to try something else or I was going to drive myself crazy running it there every week, so I decided to hop in these modifieds Thursday night, and that was really, really good decision. I had a lot of fun all season long in these things and was able to pick up quite a few wins along the way.
What have you learned from the sprint car that you've taken over to the modified?
I think it's something about how iRacing has changed these tracks so the bottom can come in. Obviously, you see me run on the bottom a lot on Monday nights, but I've been able to do it Thursday nights too in these fixed setups. So it's really surprised me because ever since I've been on iRacing, it's pretty much been top dominant. You got to be on the cushion or you're going to get past. But things have changed a lot this season for sure.
All right, man. Will we see you next week as well for Week 13 Madness?
It depends what they're running, but you might.
All right. I know we're going to Oswego, and I know there's pickup trucks as well. So, finally, before we let you go, I know we don't have Dean with us. I thought he just pulled it in from home. Not kidding. Finally, before we let you go ahead and give those shout-outs.
Yeah, I got to thank the family for watching. Got to thank all the guys down at KSR. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations, Malcolm's Mill Writing, and of course I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You guys know they got some of the best stuff out there, and you can head over to their website. And don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you guys for putting this on all season.
Well, we will let you go. Great job. Great win. Great championship. And we will let you go. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Thanks, Marty.
So the salesman gets it done here. A reminder, we've got late models and the Xfinity Trail coming up next with Travis Pierce, Field of Extreme E-Speed TV. 2 championships up for grabs here, Travis. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, expecting some racing right off the bat. No waiting tonight. There's already pro late models on the track here at Williams Grove. So finishing up the dirt portion here shortly, and then we'll, of course, head out west to Sonoma for some exciting Xfinity road course racing to close out their spring season.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Well, if you're watching on Sly Job Racing Network, we're going to say goodbye. Zach, final thoughts?
All in all, good racing whenever we had long green flag runs. Kind of stinks. Williams Grove is what it is. Turns into the train track at the end. But, you see long green flag runs, you're able to excel, and Isaac pulled out to a second gap. Nobody able to run him down. So good double podium night for Isaac, and we'll see if he carries it over here in the pro lates.
So that will do it for us. Thanks for joining us on your Thursday night. I'm Matt Farrell with the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers, sponsors, and admins. Behalf of my broadcast partner tonight, Zach Chapman, Marty Sakala, saying so long. We congratulate your winners, Jason Butterfield, Isaac Salas, and your champs, Anthony Morano and Blake Chapman. Stay tuned on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing League as we have the Pro Late Model Division from Williams Grove. I'm Travis Pearson with Extreme E Speed TV, and I am joined as usual by Shaggy Zach Chapman tonight. And we've got qualifying here. What should we expect from the late models here on this William Grove Speedway?
I'm rooting for some good racing here, Travis. But if I'm being honest, this track's 15 minutes up the road from me. It can kind of turn into quite the train track. So in these heats, while you have grip, you've got to be aggressive and you got to make sure you win your heat. It's going to be really hard to pass in the feature. It's going to be all about where you start tonight.
Well, I'm talking about where you start tonight. We have our championship night coming to an end here for the spring season. Kurt Schatzer is our points leader. You see him on the track now. Anthony Morano, second, points, 15 points back. Brandon Templeton, third. Dean Reynolds, fourth. And Dylan Kinsey in fifth. As a good field here for the late models tonight, it looks like we've got about a dozen cars. So a good car count here from what we've seen the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm interested to see, did Anthony Morano improve? No, he didn't. So he could have used those bonus points for a good qualifying lap. We'll have to see if Kurt Schatzer coming out finishing lap number 2, if he can get in the top 5 and steal some bonus points. No, he's going to stay right where he's at.
Yeah, you see Kinsey atop the charts, Gilbert second, Dean Reynolds, good lap for him in third. He's someone that we talked to last week about using this season to learn a lot about these pro late models.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of tonight you've watched, Travis, but Dean's had quite the frustrating night, so he is looking for a rebound here, I imagine. He needs some good luck.
Well, we got Brian Dickens, last one on the track. It looks like Tyler Flynn will not put down a lap as qualifying will come to an end. Quick time will go to Dylan Kinsey, and just like that, we'll head into our heat races. And Zach, heat race number 1 presented by Flatline Racing Buddies.
Yeah, starting out on the pole is going to be the 218 of Kurt Schatzer, and it is outside the 32, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Dean Reynolds in the 79 is going to roll off P3 and is outside. You got Dylan Kinsey in the 639. Running out the field in row number 3, we have Jeff Barker in the 513 and is outside. Man, a guy who normally puts in a better qualifying effort than that, Brandon Templeton. It's odd to see him on the back row, Travis.
It's interesting, the guys you get used to seeing up front when they have an off night or just a difficult couple laps in qualifying, you definitely notice when they start in places they are not normally starting.
Yeah, and not to beat on him any harder, he's going to be tougher on himself than I am, but this is not the track where you want to have a qualifying hiccup. If anything, you want to hiccup yourself into about 7th or 8th so you hit that transfer spot to start on P1, and that's how we saw Kurt Schatzer. He hit the invert perfect, and he's in a good spot to win this championship tonight.
Well, that Stephen King Foundation pace car moves on off the track. 2x2, they come down this long front stretch here at Williams Grove. Start-finish line, I think, closer down towards turn 1 than the other way as they'll go green, and Schatzer's going to jump out front here with Morano all over the back of him.
Yeah, and I can't believe it took me a second to catch, but those front two, they're the guys battling for the championship. So that 32 is going to give that 218 no room, and 218 vice versa, same thing. That's why you saw him crowd him in turns 1 and 2. But if the 32 can get to his rear bumper, he is going to give that back. He wants another championship.
Well, with Schatzer coming in 15 points to the good, he just wants to stay within striking distance of that 32 tonight. If he can stay near him, then he should be able to claim another Pro Late Model Championship here for Kurt Schatzer.
You're exactly right, and that's the way I'd be thinking. But with the way he drove in turn 1 and 2, he barely gave that 32 any room. You'd rather start 3rd in this feature and finish 2nd to that 32 than accidentally get spun out or get in some kind of deal and have to work your way up from the back. As I said earlier, it's going to be real hard to pass. So that 218, he needs to be smart and keep his head on his shoulders.
Look how quickly you transition from a race car driver to a logical broadcaster with that statement there about Kurt Schatzer and how he should look at tonight.
Yeah, it's real easy to do up here, but nah, man, you put me in that car, I'm probably, and I bet you the drivers would say it, I'm one of the more aggressive guys we have. I get into trouble a lot being a little too aggressive, but yeah, when you can sit up here and you can take your mind out of the game, it's real easy to be a referee up here.
Well, coming to the white flag, this Williams Grove Speedway, obviously known for its sprint car action here, putting late models on it tonight. Front 4 nose to tail as they make their way through. How do you see this track changing through the night? Do you see any other opportunities of passing coming into play?
Truthfully, not many. You're going to see guys lay the bumper, and I mean, you're going to have to be nice about it, but there's a correct way to go in and do a little bump and run in the dirt, and that's what we're going to have to see tonight is they pretty much finished the way they started here, Travis.
No bump there as Morano will reside in that 2nd position, give that heat victory to Kurt Schatzer, and with that, we will move on to our heat race number 2 presented by RSN Trackside.
Yeah, we got the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer, starting on the pole and is outside the 122 of Brian Dickens, and then 2 for 2 on podiums tonight. He's finished 2nd and won the last event, the big block event. Isaac Salas in the 5. He's going to roll off P3. He's got his teammate on his outside in the 017, Mark Gilbert. Rounding out the field, actually, also another teammate of theirs, Soupy Dan McLaren in the 88. And Tyler Flynn, he didn't make the call. I don't think he's in the session anymore, so pro lates weren't for him tonight, Travis.
When you mentioned Dan McLaren, speaking of other guys that had some rough outings earlier tonight, I saw the beginning of that big block feature when Dan got into that wall entering turn number 3. Not the way he wanted to start that feature event.
No, I mean, a really tough break for honestly everybody on that team except Isaac. That big block didn't make many friends there. They had tough races, but Brandon Dittmer in that 83, he's also another one with a tough one, so he wants to turn it around here.
So we're looking to set that outside row starting lineup for our 30-lap feature event coming up next. 2x2, green flag waves. Dickens will jump out at least the nose as they head off into turn number 1.
Yeah, and you saw Dickens with that excellent launch into turn 1. This may be the starting spot number 2, but with the way they start the races on the green flag, this could arguably be the pole spot. So this heat's more important than any other ones. And, man, Dittmer, he's going to have to turn that heat up if he wants to run down Dickens because he's pulling away.
Dickens able to separate. You had McLaren looking to the inside of Gilbert there for a minute. Now he'll resort to that 4th position as we go nose to tail off into 3.
Yeah, and 2nd through 5th right now, they're all sitting in the same Discord. They're friends, so they're going to behave with each other. And, that makes it that much harder and more frustrating when you're watching the leader pull away. And I think you're seeing that Dittmer maybe struggling a little bit. Just got out of the way of his buddies, realized, maybe, hey, I'm not going to win this thing tonight. I'm just going to learn off them a little bit.
Dickens able to separate. Gilbert leads that next group from the 2nd position. So when you have Schatzer and Morano battling for a championship, as the rest of the drivers are obviously still out there on the track, does that change how you drive? Are you aware where those two that are battling for a championship are at?
Man, it's almost like you're setting me up here, Travis. Yeah, you should. Is that going to make you do it? Not necessarily. We saw Samuel Bachman actually in the last race. He arguably had a shot to win the championship as Anthony Morano lagged out on the start and was a lap down the whole race, but he was turned by somebody midway through that feature. So, not everybody's going to give you that respect out there.
Well, the white flag waves, we're almost to that 30-lap feature event, so we will see how it plays out. As it's Dickens out front, a good lead, almost a 2nd lead right now as he comes around turn 4 for the final time. It will be Dickens your winner, Gilbert 2nd, McLaren, Salas, Dittmer your finishing order.
And if you're Dickens, you're really happy right now. You're hoping guys don't go out there and put a bunch of laps down in warm-ups because you don't want that track to change one bit.
And you can see plenty of them jumping out there to get onto the track. And you've got to think, Zach, they're looking for how are they going to move up through the field to try to get up there and battle for a victory?
It sucks because if you're a driver, you don't want cautions, but man, we've seen it play out tonight. That's been the way you make your passes. Or if you're that 3rd guy in line, you hope the middle guy gets aggressive and tries to duck low on the guy in front of him, and then you sneak by him on the high side. But these things do have a little more power, man, but you just got to set them up so sideways in the middle of the corner that I don't really see the bottom working too well. And as I say that, I'm watching Brian Dickens. He just made the bottom work pretty good coming out of turns 3 and 4. So you're seeing guys experiment a little bit here.
With a Williams Grove track like this, does it open up the door for any opportunities through mistakes by other drivers? We obviously saw Dittmer jump out of the groove that last heat race. Is that something that's common that could occur tonight that gives you that opening to make a move?
Yeah, very common. The 31 actually just did it. It's very easy to jump the cushion here. You're carrying all that speed down the front stretch. They're hitting almost 120 mile an hour before they lift out of it. So you got to make sure you don't jump the cushion, and you don't want to carry in so much speed that you got to yaw the thing sideways, because when you do that, you're losing speed. You want to keep the car as straight as you can. Drive it like you're almost driving an asphalt car. It seems counterintuitive, but just keeping the car straight and keeping the wheels under it, that's how you access all that power going down the straightaways.
So if it plays out how you're saying, it should be Gilbert, Dickens, Schatzer, and Morano, the front 4. Who of those 4 do you think has the best opportunity of coming away with a victory tonight?
I like where Dickens is at. As long as he goes down in there and stomps his ground, you can't give the guy in P1 enough room to throw a slider on you that when he hits you, you bounce up. You've got to make the guy uncomfortable and pinch him going into turn 1. You know, you're the outside guy. You own that part, and you got to stamp. You got to stamp your ground. You can't give that up. And if Brian just goes in there, he's not running for a championship. He's running for a win. Just go in there, nothing to lose, and pinch him down and turn 1 and 2 and hope for the best.
Well, and as they made their way around, I saw that opening there on the backstretch. Don't sell that opportunity short either. We've seen plenty of times where guys get up a little too high down the backstretch there, and that jumps out and grabs them.
Yeah, especially with these things, because, you know, you look at them, even when they're driving straight, they're angled a little bit to the left. So you don't always account for that right rear hanging out that extra couple inches, and that's something with netcode, you know, an internet problem. It's real easy to catch that wall.
Well, real easy to head into our feature event right now as we'll look at that RSN trackside starting lineup.
Yeah, Kurt Schatzer in the 218 is going to roll off on the pole here, and his outside in the 122, we got Brian Dickens. Then Anthony, the Ant-Man Morano in the 32 is going to roll off P3. He's hoping for some bad luck tonight for the 218 and some good luck for himself as keep an eye on those guys, the front two on the bottom rows. They're battling for the points, but Mark Gilbert's going to roll off P4 in the 017. Inside of row number 3, we've got the 79 of Dean Reynolds into his outside, Soupy Dan McLaren. Inside of row number 4, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey into his outside, the double podium guy tonight. Keep an eye on him, Isaac Salas in P8. Brandon Templeton's going to roll off P9, and another Brandon beside him, Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey's going to roll off P10. And rounding out the field tonight is going to be the 513 of Jeffrey Barker.
So our final feature dirt race of this week's Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder about to get underway here from Williams Grove Speedway. Schatzer, your points leader coming into this final night of the spring season, will start on the pole. The guy trying to beat him and take over that crown right behind him in the 32 of Anthony Morano. As we'll do one more lap. Any last words here before 30 laps of late models here at Williams Grove, Zach?
Man, good luck to anybody on that bottom. I hope I'm wrong, but we've seen in all the restarts tonight, if you were stuck on that bottom, you were hung out. So Kurt Schatzer's gonna be as aggressive as he can to get them elbows out and try to push that 122 out of the way. I'd imagine try to get up there and take the high side, but that 122, he's gotta hold his ground and fight back. And if he does, we're going to be in for an interesting race.
Well, and we've seen that over and over where guys can make their way up through the field and then a caution comes out and they're pushed down to that inside and it just kills their momentum and there's gains that they had made now gone on a restart.
Yeah, so it's almost one of those deals if you're in 6th spot and you can pass the guy in 5th, but 4th's way up there. Maybe you hang out in 6th for a while until we're under 10 to go to make sure you start on the outside. But green flag's out here, Travis, at Williams Grove Speedway.
And Dickens slow to get going. That opens the door for Morano. Morano will move in quickly. Isaac Salas up into the wall behind the group will stay green at least down the backstretch.
And, you know, that's exactly what Anthony Morano needed. He can set his sights now on that points leader, and he can go to work. But he's going to need to pull the train along with him. If he beats Kurt by just one spot tonight, that ain't going to do it, Travis.
Well, we mentioned it. We'll see what happens if Morano puts pressure on Schatzer. What does he do? And at what point at the race, that could also dictate it. As they're all single file here, it looks like Isaac Salas is off the track. He had problems there in turn number 1. As that start to this race when that Lucy Olsen green flag wave, not the cleanest of starts, Zach.
No, definitely not. But with these big-bodied cars, able to keep it going straight, and to the advantage of Kurt Schatzer, he's able to gap those guys with all that, and he's got it rolling. But, man, guys like Brandon Templeton, you know, they're way far back there. They really need a caution if they want to even think about flirting with the top 5 now, Travis.
Well, and we saw it. It looked like it was the Kinsey machine. He was the one that was trying to try something on the inside. You look, Dickens looks to the inside of Morano, then backs off there. Gilbert got a little high. Kinsey tried to move to the inside, but there was nothing there as Kinsey resorts to that 6th spot here on lap number 5.
Oh yeah, and if you're Anthony Morano here, you gotta try to get to the lead as quick as you can. You don't want to be that sitting duck on the restart. You want to control these restarts if we get a caution, and hopefully, if you can control the restart, you can pull another couple cars along with you because you need Kurt to get in a battle there. This thing's his tonight.
Seen a couple guys take peeks, nothing too aggressive as of yet as we're here 5 laps in. You've got to think that pressure and that aggression will turn up as we go through these next 25 laps.
Yeah, especially from that 6:39 of Dylan Kinsey. That last time around, he had the fastest lap of the race at a 19:69. So that man is bringing speed, and he was able to get a pass done on Mark Gilbert. And Mark Gilbert up in turn 1 and 2 had to come to a stop there, Travis, and we're going to have a caution.
Yeah, we saw that. Kinsey was able to make a move by him just at the exit of turn number 4, and then by the time that Gilbert got to turn number 1, that car was not turning as he headed straight into the wall.
Yeah, so he gets in the wall coming out of turn 4, and that's it. That broke the right front. You can see it bouncing up and down going down the straightaway, and he just didn't stand a chance going off into 1 and 2. I don't even know if he knew it was broke.
As we'll watch that replay here as they head off into turn number 3. As it looks like it went back a lap beyond that. Well, we'll get it lined back up. Gilbert's still in the pit area. We'll see if he's able to make his way out. Lights are still on that Stephen King Foundation pace car, so he's got time. Isaac Salas appears out. He is in that 11th position. Tyler Flynn did not grid. And as you mentioned, Zach, they start to line up here, and it's going to be Morano down there on the inside this next restart.
Yeah, and that's exactly where he doesn't want to be, because if Dino gets a good jump with your leader, Kurt Schatzer, he's going to pull himself right on by that 32, and another quick caution, he'd find himself in 3rd place, stuck on the bottom again. So if the leader's choosing the high side, you either want to be out front or in P4, and I know that sounds counterintuitive, but man, it's going to be so tough for Anthony and Dickens on this restart here.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, because Dickens and then Kinsey, the 3rd car in that inside row, have been... And it looks like Schatzer's going to take that inside line.
Oh, yeah, actually, okay. He does want the inside line, so maybe there's a good bit of tack out of the bottom coming out of 4, and he wants to put Anthony in that middle groove and make him restart in the slick, but... All of a sudden, it's a lot nicer being Brian Dickens if you can get a good restart.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to find out here, because Dickens and Kinsey were aggressive on moving up through the field. Now they're going to be on that inside row right behind Schatzer. So this will be a true test of if you can make a move on that inside here with a restart.
Yeah, Dickens left a big gap, though. Wasn't able to really take advantage of that restart. He's going to be kicking himself in the butt there.
He slides up. He's got Dean Reynolds to his outside as they're almost 3 wide through 1 and 2. And Dickens finally will jump up in front of Kinsey and behind Reynolds there. Templeton looking to the inside through 3 and 4.
Yeah, you see how important that is, though. Dickens literally got out of the gas down one of the longest straightaways we'll race this season on dirt just to make sure he could slide up in that high side. So that shows how hard it's going to be to pass tonight, and all the cars kind of want to be in the same spot right now. But if we get a long green flag run here, Travis, Mark Gilbert, I believe, he was able to pull out of the pits here, not go a lap down, but man, the leaders are coming.
Well, Templeton trying to make that inside line work. He's aggressively at least starting the corner by that inside, but then bails out. And then to your point, now you've got Dickens there. He's in that 4th position. That would give him that outside line. You've got Reynolds and Kinsey in front and behind, not in spots they want if that caution does come out.
But I'll tell you what, the 218, he's been slipping up a little bit coming out of turn 2. The 32's thinking about making a move here, Travis. We got a slider for the lead.
He'll slide up across that nose. He'll have it at the exit of 4. Schatzer looks back to the inside at the line. It's Morano at the line, but now Schatzer will slide up in front of him. He'll check up, and he will take the lead as now Morano battles back on the inside.
Yeah, slider from hell there on the 218, and I'm sure that gave him both incident points. The 32, is he going to feed it back to him? No, he's not, but the 32, Travis, he was the leader last time by at the line, so he's got the lead here.
As we saw there, Templeton, I believe, made contact with Dickens in turn number 3. That will bring out the caution. We'll take a look at the replay here as they were 3 wide down the backstretch, Zach.
Yeah, nothing Templeton could really do there. Dickens tried to be aggressive and just throw it in there in the middle, but Templeton was there. I mean, he didn't overdrive. He was holding his line. Nothing he could really do there. Dickens is just going to be really frustrated with himself. You know, started P1 tonight, made a mistake, fell back in the field, and then makes another mistake there. But he's got laps to make up some ground here, Travis. We still have 28 to go.
When you're in that position, 3 wide going into 3 at Williams Grove.
18. Sorry, 18 to go. Keep going.
No problem. At what point do you go, okay, I'm not going to be the one to check up, and then realize it's too late and that nobody else is going to give either?
Well, I mean, if you're not running for the points, I think you're already at that point. You're frustrated with the fact that it's single groove racing, and if a guy's going to slide up in front of you or make a mistake and think they can just get up in front of you, you're probably not going to lift. And we've seen that in the other races. This is a track that just, doesn't tend to bring out the patience in drivers. And, we see it up here, Travis, on a Friday night basis. Guys like Freddie Raymer and Danny Dietrich getting into fights in the pits. This place, man, it gets drivers fuming.
Well, the big gainer as of right now is Brandon Dittmer. He's up 5 spots into 5th, but Dylan Kinsey, he's going to line up outside row number 2. He just keeps chipping away, Zach, moving up closer and closer up to that front.
Yeah, kind of surprised Anthony Morano here is choosing the bottom on the restart. They must really like that. Maybe there's plenty of attack here, but Dean Reynolds, man, he's got to be on the horn. You're going to see he's going to try to get a lot closer to that 32 car than Dickens was, and he needs a good restart here.
Well, restart there, coming to green flag waves. Good jump for Morano, good jump for Dean Reynolds. He's able to nose in front of Schatzer. They make slight contact heading off into 1. Dean's going to try to slide up. It's looked like he's going to end up in that 3rd spot in front of Kinsey.
Yeah, Dean's hoping for a real quick caution here as he was able to take P2 at the line, but doesn't look like it's going to happen here, and he's going to have to race his way by. He's going to have to earn this one.
Very tight racing coming off of turn number 4. There's 17 laps to go, and now up front, Schatzer's on the move. He's trying to chase down Morano in front.
Yeah, and if you're Schatzer, you really want to win, man. But if I'm his spotter, I'm telling him, calm the hell down. P2 is fine. Let those boys race behind you. Just keep the 32 in your sights. You don't need to pass this guy. You're going for a championship.
And he looks to the inside as you say that, Zach.
Yeah, so, that shows how bad, they want to win every one. But, man, he needs some birdie on his shoulder telling him to calm down. Just calm down, Kurt.
Well, the guys behind him, Dean Reynolds and Kinsey, have calmed down slightly here. They were all over each other and gaining on Schatzer that last lap. As we settle in here, nose-to-tail racing now. Dean Reynolds in that 3rd spot. Dylan Kinsey up 3 spots. He's our hard charger right now into 4th.
Ooh, and P5 in the wall there, Dan McLaren. He's able to keep it going, but he's going to fall back to the tail end of the lead lap here. Man, Dylan Kinsey all over the back of that 79 there in 1 and 2.
So we'll keep going. It looks like McLaren will be able to make his way around the track as the front 4 have broken away slightly, and Schatzer all over the back of that 32.
Yeah, you brought up to me, jumping the cushion. Looked like the 32 jumped the cushion there in 3 and 4, and you saw how quick Kurt was right there on the back bumper. And, man, I'm still telling him, dude, you got a big gap to Dean. You don't have to force the issue, but if that 79 starts reeling him in, maybe you think about going back for the lead. But right now, man, just you're in ride mode.
Well, and Morano is one that is not in ride mode, as Schatzer has the pressure all over the back of him, almost just tempting him to make another mistake and open that door for the 218.
Yeah, and Anthony Morano is very experienced, and he may deny it, but you got to wonder too how much. As we get a slider for the lead here, he's going to cross him over, and that's what I was going to say. You got to wonder if he's baiting him into that, Travis, because look, now the 79 is right on the back of him. Maybe he wants the 218 to think, oh man, I'm quicker than him. I need to be aggressive and just suck him into a battle. Maybe make him fall back to 4th. And with some incident points and finishing fourth, that may be enough for a championship. So he's playing right into Murano's hands right now.
And an exciting race here to end the spring season with these two drivers that we've seen battle all season long. No other way to end this here than at Williams Grove tonight with these two battling for a win.
No, you said it. I mean, like a heavyweight fight, just punches back and forth. But Kurt Schatzer looking for the knockout here tonight, and second place is enough to do that. So, Kurt, I sound like a broken record, man, but just be smart and keep a gap to that 79. You got this thing locked up.
So you can see Dean Reynolds, Kinsey still all over that 218. Morano's able to hold him off as of now as Schatzer's closed that gap back up since that slider, and he's got Dean Reynolds all over the back of him now. This 4-car breakaway exciting with 7 laps to go this time by.
He really does, but he's at the point now, if he throws a slider and Morano crosses him back up like he did about 3 or 4 laps ago, Dino's going to be able to follow that 32 right around him. So one more messed up slider, and Dean's going to be able to throw a slider himself here.
We're also to the point with Schatzer, that 15-point lead coming into tonight. We're getting to the point where it's a slider that's going to take to at least make a move on it, but you don't want to make a slider that goes away. You end up in the wall, and all of a sudden, that points battle is evaporated quickly.
Here he goes, Travis. Here he goes. Gonna park it on the 32. Anthony's gonna try the crossover. Side by side, but Schatzer at the line.
Oh, Morano hits the wall entering turn number 1. That'll allow Schatzer to cross it back over. And now Dean Reynolds is looking to the inside of Morano.
Yeah, now, you got to wonder, was Anthony sandbagging it all, or was Kurt really quick? Because now he's out front. He's got a clean track. It could be curtains here.
Well, he's able to break away there. It's about a half a second going into turn number 1, and now Dean Reynolds to the outside. Morano's now got to make something happen with just four laps to go.
Yeah, going to experiment with the bottom line there in 1 and 2. Going to try it again in 3 and 4. Maybe he thinks he found something with a slider line, but man, Kurt in that 218 just so smooth out front here with 3 to go.
So Schatzer leading, looking to claim a Pro Late Model Championship here for the spring season. 2.5 laps to go as he's broken away from Morano. Morano, a small gap back to Dean Reynolds, but behind him, Kinsey and Gilbert side by side for 4th.
Yeah, right now, that 218 is just hoping he has enough tread on that right rear tire to hold up and hoping this thing stays green, because if he doesn't make a mistake here, he's going to be your feature winner tonight, and he's going to bring home a championship.
Morano able to close that gap there through 3 and 4 as the white flag will wave. Schatzer 1 lap away from being crowned the Pro Late Model Champion and picking up another feature victory as they head down the backstretch at Williams Grove.
Final time through 3 and 4. Your points leader is looking to bring home 2 trophies tonight as he's going to get a big run out of turn 4, and Kurt Schatzer is going to be your feature winner here tonight in the Pro Late Models.
Kurt Schatzer, Anthony Morano, Dean Reynolds, your top 3. So a good run for Dean there, able to hold off Kinsey as Jeff Barker from 11th to 7th will be our hard charger of the night.
And we did have 12 cars. It's odd that the hard charger only gets 4 spots, but man, it just shows how tough it is to pass here tonight. Who is that? Is that Brandon Dittmer finishing the race in reverse?
It appears.
Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty.
So as usual, we'll have our top 3 finishers join us up here in the booth. As I would say a more exciting race than we expected from the late models here at Williams Grove tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to keep my words short, the other 2 races were kind of an S show. So it was nice to see the guys get some green flag runs in here. Not much passing here at Williams Grove. That's what I kind of told you was coming. It's hard to get around people here, but you can't make some mistakes here. And you saw one mistake from Anthony Morano, gets in the inside wall, arguably cost him a win here tonight in the back and forth slider match with Kurt Schatzer. So good job for Kurt. Kurt's out there doing donuts in turn 1 and 2 right now, celebrating that championship.
Well, we will wait for Kurt and Anthony and Dino to make their way up here to the booth. And if not, we'll bring them up here ourselves.
They're all playing hard to get. None of them are hanging out in Discord tonight. So
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got Dean. I'll throw it over to you, Zach. You've got Dean Reynolds, our third place finisher.
Hey, Dean. All in all, tough night those first 2 races, man, but able to turn around with a third place tonight.
Yeah, I think I found everything the first 2 races. I mean, it was just racing, but it was frustrating because I had a fast car in both of those races. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what I can do. But it is what it is. That's Williams Grove. You're going to get it. Especially guys that don't have a lot of experience because you go in the corners tight and everything. But when I saw the field here for the Pro Late models, I said, this is going to be a fun night. Everyone in here knows how to run the Pro Late models. I said, we're going to have a good race. So it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like a fun race. The cautions were, normally single guy spins in here, just broken right fronts couldn't get off the track. But all in all, a pretty good show, Dean. Able to bring home a podium here tonight to cap off a not so great night. But congratulations, man. Who you want to thank on third?
Yeah, no, I got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports. Anthony was going for a title. So, we were in the Discord, and even though when Anthony got into the inside wall there in turn 1, and I saw half his body explode, I said, dude, I'm not going to try to pass it. I'm going to make sure you finish second unless somebody gets on us and we have to get going. So I just wanted to make sure he got second because you never know with the drops how the points are going to, pan out. So congrats to Anthony on a great season. Congrats to Kurt on his win and maybe a possible championship for them both there. And Brandon had a good year. But, got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports. Travis, got to thank you for sticking out the whole year. I know doing some of these 4 and 5 car races probably wasn't the easiest thing to do. But thank you for letting us have friends and families watch all year in the Pro Late models. And, hopefully, the Pro Late models are going this Sunday. And hopefully more guys would want to run them because they are fun. I mean, I was just talking to Dylan Kinsey, and we're just saying, hey, we want to run these even more. So hopefully we'll get more guys to follow them. So thanks to Travis for doing it, and Shaggy for you being in the booth with him tonight to give him a little company. Thanks to Coast for giving us a place to race. And then, we got week 13 coming up. I guess I got some surprises. And then we'll come back next year and next season. Don't know how many I can do because that's my busy season in real life. But we'll give it a run. We'll see if we can put some cars in fix your lanes.
Well, hey, man, you've made yourself a podium name now in this late model series. So good job, Dean. I'm proud of you, bud.
Thanks, Daggy. And Travis, thanks again.
Thanks, Dean. Well, that's Dean Reynolds, our third place finisher tonight. Now we'll talk to our second place finisher, Anthony Morano. Anthony, Shaggy and I were talking when you had the lead there. Schatzer was all over the back of you. We thought maybe a little game of cat and mouse between the two of you. Walk us through that battle.
That was a hell of a race. A couple good sliders there. One was a little close, but we played it clean and safe. But it was a fun race. Just I'm still learning these cars. I was over driving, knowing that Kurt was right behind me, and then I was just making it way worse by over driving it. So, but you live and you learn. You go on to the next season, and what are you gonna do? It's a good championship race. It sucks they're moving the late models to Sunday nights now. I wish they wouldn't, but car count struggled, so you gotta do what you gotta do to keep the division alive.
Well, walk us through. Obviously, you had a good season. Is there anything you look back on this season where you go, that was the difference between coming into tonight with a points lead versus coming in down?
Eldora.
Okay, I figured you knew exactly where maybe that gap was created and came from.
Absolutely.
Well, great season. Obviously, you had a lot of fun with these late models. What will you take away from this season? What will you remember about this season with the late models?
Throttle control and corner entry and these things are so much different than say the big blocks. You really have to someone told me it's called a Scandinavian flip, where you flick the rear of the car the wrong way and have the suspension roll. That's the main thing. Actually, I think it was Logan Wentz that told me that. But that's the real main thing there. I mean, hats off to Kurt, ran a great season. It was a lot of fun. But that's the main thing. I mean, you got to do that little flip at the rear end of the car to get the suspension to load up.
Well, congratulations on a great and a fun year. You made it a lot of fun to watch you all season long. Is there anybody and any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I gotta thank my wife Sherry, my teammates at Full Throttle Motorsports, Dean at Super Dare Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, MDI TV, Expert Installation, DJ Sim Shop, you guys for doing the broadcast and everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Well, congratulations, Anthony. That's our second place finisher tonight. We'll now go over to Victory Lane. Zach, you've got our winner, Kurt Schatzer.
Hey, Kurt, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you, Shaggy.
Well, man, first off, congratulations, champ. How's it feel?
Oh man, it feels wonderful. I love racing for points and trying to see if I can't get a title at the end of it, and especially in the late models, they're my favorite cars. My family's been involved in late model racing all since I was a kid, so late models racing is my passion. So I try to get on and run late models every chance I get, which ain't really too often. I just really kind of run it with coast to coast with you guys.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations on the championship. And now, Kurt, I'm going to bring you back to the race here for a second. Obviously, you won arguably one of the most important races of the night, Heat 1. You're able to start on the pole. You set the pace. But were you worried when Anthony got around you there at the halfway point?
Yeah, you said it. Track positions, everything. I did what I had to do in the heat race and got out front there. Yeah, when Anthony got by me, I was like, crap, he's pretty strong. He don't make a whole lot of mistakes. And I just kind of settled in, tried following him, see what I could do. I tried a slider in 1 and 2 that I think was very, very close. And I really didn't sure if I wanted to try that anymore down in 1 and 2. And then I started feeling like I was setting them up enough in 1 and 2 that I maybe could try something down in 3 and 4. And sure enough, I did it. I really wanted this win bad. And a hometown boy, Williams Grove isn't far from my house. So coming to here on championship night, I really wanted to show out for the hometown fans.
Kurt, I always forget that. We're going to have to get together one of these nights. My little brother lives in Dillsburg, right outside of Williams Grove. So
for sure, my older brother lives.
One of these.
Yep, my older brother lives in Dillsburg.
And real quick, Kurt, I don't know if you checked it already, but the points have been updated. You win with 697, beating Anthony Morano by 26 points. So it is official now as well.
All right, man. I'm throwing my hands up in the air and celebrating that one. That's fourth pro late model coast to coast championship here. So I'm pretty proud of that. I might take a step back and not really run for points here for the summer season and come back fall and winter.
Well, hey, congratulations, man. And I just want to say I am so glad I'm not your spotter because I was having a heart attack. When you were running in second there, I kept saying over the broadcast, just stay there. You're going to win the championship, man. But that's the driver in you, man. Able to get both done. Congratulations, Kurt. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank Jay at Dirt Track Bank, everything they do to support racers all around the country. All the boys on Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, Brian Dickens, Joe Halter with Got Your Six Racing Network, Friday Night Lights. They should be starting up here soon. My wife, Bree, my son, Mason, for allowing me to do this. Roger, giving us a place to race here, coast to coast. You guys coming out and doing an awesome job in broadcast. We all love to watch it back. I might even watch it back a couple times. And everybody watching at home.
Well, congrats, Kurt, man. Big winner at Williams Grove tonight, and most importantly, bringing home the yearly hardware, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that is Kurt Schatzer, our winner tonight at Williams Grove and our champion here in the Pro Late Model Division. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to head out west to Sonoma Raceway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series as we continue and conclude our Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a
hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing League as we are now at Sonoma Raceway. We've got the Xfinity cars on the track. 5 cars here right now, Zach. They've got qualifying underway as we get ready to go here at this fun road course out in California.
Yeah, definitely a fun road course and something that if you've watched NASCAR your whole life, you're very familiar with Dale Earnhardt's famous pass there in the grass going through the S's, and or I guess it was more dirt than grass, but man, you can get it done anywhere here. But iRacing won't like you going off the track. They'll probably hit you with a slowdown, I imagine.
I'll tell you what, I went out to Sonoma probably about 10 years ago now to a race, and it felt more like going to like a golf tournament because you kind of just wandered around. But this track, you can see there, the first half of the track is much higher than the back half of the track. So you can see a lot of the racetrack, which is what I would think unusual for a road course.
Yeah, I've never been to any type of road course racing, actually. No GT3, no nothing. So not very familiar with it in person, but definitely always enjoyed watching it on TV as a kid. I'd always try to talk my dad into making the drive up to New York to go to Watkins Glen, but he would always complain, I can't see the race, can't do this. He's a stay-at-home, sit on the couch and watch NASCAR kind of guy.
A classic. Tim Chapman, a classic, I think, is what to take away from that.
And, anytime, I did see one good race at Dover. I'm a Mark Martin fan. Did get to see Mark Martin win at Dover. That was pretty cool. But, anytime we try to go anywhere, we went to a Pepsi 400. It was probably the worst Pepsi 400 in history. It didn't start till 12:30 in the morning, and Tony Stewart led all but 4 laps. So, that's kind of why I think he likes to just sit at home and watch it on TV.
Well, real quick, coming into tonight, the spring season, Colin Johnson's your points leader. He's got a 27-point lead over Gordon Spain, who is here tonight. Jeffrey Kemper in third, who is not here tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. And then the Xfinity Trail, also Colin Johnson in front. Jeffrey Kemper in second. Gordon Spain in third there. So Colin Johnson looking to pick up a couple titles here tonight as we get going. You did see Colin had troubles during his qualifying lap, as it's Dan McLaren, who I think is your favorite for this one here tonight, Zach. The fastest and only time so far.
Yeah, not putting a damper on any of the other guys, but man, I consider myself, Dan McLaren, he's in the Bob Lights scheme. So first off, respect to that man. If that 77 was on this track tonight, I don't care if God was out there racing. He didn't stand much of a chance tonight. That 77 knew how to get it done on the road courses. And, when he wasn't there, Dan and I would normally be duking it out side by side at these road courses. We're similar skill level. And, man, I just look for Dan. He doesn't need to overdrive this thing. He's about to finish up lap number 2. He did get down in the 120s, almost as fast as his practice time. But I was going to say, his first lap, he took it easy, make sure he didn't get off the road. He just ran a 121, and he was still a second faster than those guys. But, man, that second lap, he turned it up 2.5 seconds.
Well, that will give him quick time here for the Xfinity Series here at Sonoma. And you can see a minute 20. About 40 seconds faster here at Sonoma than where we were last week at Road America.
And everybody does have checkered flags on the entry list, so they're all done. Not sure if maybe Colin will advance this or if they'll let it wind the whole way out. But everybody is done qualifying here, so they want us to work hard for 4 minutes, I think, Travis.
Well, we are here to watch, and we are here to entertain as they do close it out. So we'll move right on to that starting lineup. Of course, all our starting lineups presented by RSN Trackside as they start to grid out there on the track. And you've got our starting lineup, Zach.
Yeah, gonna be a pretty easy, quick one here tonight. But Soupy Dan McLaren's gonna start on the pole, and his outside. I don't know if they're officially teammates or not, but man, they always hang out together in the Venom Discord. Brandon Dittmer is gonna start outside of him. Preston Cramner, who you know, he may have a little tear in his eye lining up behind that 77. That was his teammate, and it's going to be emotional probably driving behind that car. But P3, that's a good starting spot for him. Gordon Spain is going to roll off P4 on his outside, and rounding out the field tonight, the man who keeps this show together and rolling on Thursday nights, Cullen Johnson's going to round out the field.
So
We're gonna
5.
do a full pace lap here.
We did that last week at Road America too. Got to see the beautiful scenery of Wisconsin last week. Now we'll soak up that Northern California. It looks like a summer dry season here at Sonoma.
Yeah, and you know, going up through here, that's probably where they just went through turns 2 and 3. That's probably going to be their main passing section, I'd say. You might see guys outbreak each other going through there a little bit, the quick left and right-hander. But, Travis, this is a corner coming down here. I think this is going to get a lot of people into trouble. If you overdrive this sucker and you go over those rumble strips too aggressive and you lose the balance of that car, that wall is going to sneak up on you in an awful big hurry.
Well, that is a hard brake zone there, and then another one here that they're going through, which sets you up for good positioning as you head through those S's. At a road course like this, Zach, how important is it to have good exit off a corner so it sets you up good for the next corner?
Exit's everything, unless, you know, you got a quick double-hander where you can carry in a little more speed to that first one and be a little aggressive. But especially through these S's, you talked about setting yourself up. That's all it's about. You want to make sure you're driving like a grandma on entry to those S's, but right here, you don't want to lift at all. You want to make sure you've got that car primed to stay hammered down through that last right-hander and carry all that speed down here into the final corner, because this is going to be another spot where if you're trying to make a pass, you don't want to outbrake yourself here. That wall is going to come up quick.
Well, they'll go through that hairpin, which sets you up for that start-finish line as that Lucy Olson green flag set to wave.
Preston Cramner actually wrecked under pace laps.
He wrecked up there at the exit of turn number 2 that you talked about. As he'll start in the pits here as this one goes green. Dan McLaren jumps out front there in front of Dittmer.
And, you know, if Dittmer... man, I just don't know what to say for him here. You know, you always feel helpless if you're him. You just want to try to ride behind him as long as you can and see where maybe he was beating you and try to learn some new braking points. Just use this as a driver's lesson. Don't be too aggressive here. You just want to make sure you keep him in the picture. And there you see him. Takes that inside curb a little too much, gets the right side tires off the ground, and he loses a couple of tenths in a hurry. You don't want to take a lot of curbs in these cars. They're not GT3 cars. They're not F1 cars. You know, they're not built like that with the suspensions. You got to try to keep them on the road.
Well, we saw it last week at Road America. Jeffrey Kemper picked up the win. A very clean race for the most part, and that's what the difference was. How much false hope can you have in a road course here in the Xfinity Series, Zach, when you see a guy come up towards a hard brake zone where it looks like you're gaining, but in reality you're going to have to go through that hard brake zone just as well?
No, yeah, and odds are if you're gaining on them going into the braking zone, they're going to pull away from you coming out of the corner. It really is. It's you know, road racing is such a different attitude. It's all about backing up the corner. And I mean, realistically, a good oval driver drives the same way. You don't want to beat up your tires on entry. You don't want to have them squirreling or screeching and getting hot, but it's so hard to do. You know, everybody here wants to win, and when you see a guy just driving away from you, making it look so easy, you think, oh man, they're babying it through here. I can get a little more than them, and before you know it, you lose half a second in a turn, and that's what we're seeing right now. Is man, Dan McLaren, he's checking out.
When you can see Colin Johnson, hard through that corner, he'll slide through as he resides in that third spot, and you would think him, like we said with the Pro Late models, just ride around here, get to the finish in a good spot, and don't cause any incidences, and you'll be a champion here tonight for the spring season.
And Gordon Spain, he looped it and pulled in the pit, so We're down to 4 here, I think.
Well, it looks like Preston's back on the track, so we do have those 4. And it looks like... Yeah, we're at 4 for now. And you can see how smooth Dan looks out front there. Obviously no pressure and clean air ahead. Oh, as almost goes into that corner a little hard, but he's able to get it under control there and now back down into that hard braking zone.
No, and if you're Brandon Dittmer right now, you want to have to scream, Travis, because he just ran a 120.4, okay? That's 0.3 off the pole. Well, now that Dan McLaren's out of dirt mode and is learning the track a little bit, what does he just run in race trim? A 118.8. So, you think like, oh, man, I found something. I'm figuring it out. And then Dan, he's just getting in road racer mode. Took him a couple laps, but he's really unveiling the power in that 88, but painted with a beautiful 77 tonight.
As he'll go through that hairpin here. Coming to the end of lap number 3 here. 30 laps will make up this Xfinity Series race here tonight at Sonoma. Closest battle on the track is Colin Johnson, almost 3 seconds behind Brandon Dittmer for the second spot.
I like what you're trying to do there.
As you can see them both on the screen there. And it looks like Gordon Spain is off the track, so he may just reside with a top 5 finish in the 5th spot. Oh, and Dittmer goes around. That'll give second to Colin Johnston.
Yeah, and there you go. One mistake. We saw Dittmer make a mistake there on lap number 1, caught too much of the inside curve, and literally did the same thing again. Just takes too much curve on entry, bounces the car, and when it comes back, it just unsettles, and he's got to jerk it to the right to keep it out of the outside wall, and gonna lose a spot. Long time to go, but man, if you're already not that comfortable on the road course and in this car, it makes it that much harder to pass. So he's gonna be kicking himself for that.
Well, I know you were making fun of me for that 3-second difference between those two cars, Zach, but because he was only 3 seconds, he was able to pounce on that opportunity once Dittmer did make a mistake.
No, you're exactly right. Just kind of laughing at the situation, when you got 4 cars and one of them are almost a lap down, you got to kind of stretch sometimes. So I respect
it. So as we talk about strategy with this one and trying to pick up ground on someone around you any way you can, what's the pit strategy look like here at Sonoma tonight?
Well, if you're Brandon Dittmer right now and you're struggling a little bit, you slid sideways, you're probably the only one. Well, I shouldn't say the only one. If you're Dan McLaren, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that he doesn't take 4 tires. He's easily got the gap, and he's just racing against himself right now, trying to get faster and faster every lap. So he'll take tires, but if you're Cullen, he normally takes it pretty easy on the tires. He's a smooth, smart driver. He's not going to make many mistakes. But then again, he's not going to set a blistering time down either. He may, let it ride this set of tires the whole time. But right now, Brandon Dittmer, he's 12 seconds back. I believe he spun again. And now all of a sudden, Preston Cramner, he's thinking about like, oh man, I really messed up. My race was done. Well, he's only 12 seconds off of the final podium spot. My dog is pretty angry about the racing.
Well, you can see Preston Kramer entering the picture there. Dittmer had another hiccup there in the hairpin. So at this point, it's perseverance with 25 laps to go, never giving up, and seeking whatever opportunities thrown at you here.
No, you're exactly right. You just got to keep your head down and take advantage of every opportunity. And You know, Dittmer, it's one of those things where he feels like he should be second, but he just keeps overdriving, and that's normally not a good mix. He hits the curb there again as I'm watching him, almost gets into that outside wall, and he just needs to settle down or he's going to lose P3.
So about 13-second gaps between each position right now. As Preston Kramer continues to chip away at Brandon Dittmer, his gap is actually now under 12 seconds. So little by little there throughout the field. But class of the field out front, it's Dan McLaren, 24 laps to go here now. And he's still turning the best lap of the 4 cars on the track.
Yep. He's not pushing it too much. Like I say, he hit that 118 earlier. He's just hanging out in the 120s now. He doesn't need to push the car. He's got that 12.5-second gap, and he's just looking to ride. He's easy win for him. He wants to put that 77 paint in victory lane tonight.
So Colin Johnson riding in a good lap last lap. He actually turned a 120 as well. So a good lap by Colin, getting in the groove now. He's pulled away from Dittmer by, it's 18 seconds now. And Dittmer back to Preston Kramer, who was just 12 seconds back, Zach, now 8 seconds back of Dittmer.
Yeah, Preston's starting to run him down. I got a message from Roger telling me that Preston was in the 77 paint. What do you have on your screen? I'm seeing an 07. Do I have the wrong one loaded?
No, I see a Kids Club 07.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm seeing too. So, yeah, it is. Dan's running the 77 tonight, and yeah, here's Preston in the 07. But you know, P3, it's looking more and more brighter for him. He's really made up a lot of time on Brandon, and Brandon, with the way he's driven this car, he's almost got to take 4 tires. And if you're Preston Kramer, you got to think if you run smooth this whole time, maybe you think about gas only here.
As let's see, we'll reload. I'll reload my paints and see if anything changes over. Nope, I'm still seeing the 07.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. But all in all, we know where the heart's at tonight. That 77 driver Bob Light, he's been on my mind all week for sure. That's pulled up some old races between me and him, and just found a good one where he said how much fun it was to race with me, and I definitely saved that. I'm gonna miss Bob and all that he taught me out here, especially in cars like at tracks like these. There were times in practice where I'd ask him to pull out in front of me and just let me drive behind him, like he was a ghost car, and he was the best for that. He would kick your butt, but he'd teach you how to be better at the same time. He wasn't worried about competition, and we're gonna miss that guy.
Well, last week at Road America, we had a majority of the field in the 77 machines. Dan, of course, coming into the spring season finale with that 77 paint scheme again here. And you got to think how cool it would be to park that 77 in Victory Lane here tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kemper ran one last week or not, if he had a 77 on it, but yeah, at a road course, seeing a 77 in Victory Lane, that's pretty special for the boys around here.
So you see Dan McLaren. Dittmer pitted last time. He's still in the pit area. So Preston Kramer moved into third.
Dittmer is smoking driving in the pits, so he had a big wreck somewhere.
It looks like the old Shaggy mobile pulling into pit road.
Yep, he wrecked where he's had trouble all night doing the rewind. He took too much curb. It went over the next set of curbs and just lost it and hit the inside wall. And I think he had a quick repair, but man, driving that slow, smoking it. It's looking good for that 07 to get the final podium spot now.
Watching the replay, wrecked right where he wrecked the previous time.
And that's where I said that. I'd like to consider myself a decent road racer, and I would say that is the most difficult corner here, especially in these. Not to sound like a broken record, but as well as I do, Travis, these things aren't built to take curbs and stuff like that. That's just not what they do. And the next gen a little more so. They built that to be a little more road friendly, but this Xfinity car, it's tough. You got to keep it on the asphalt. You don't want to take a lot of curb.
As you can see, Dimmer is back on the track. He's right there behind our leader, obviously a lap down. Which with this Xfinity car, they are at in real life Portland this weekend, and then they'll be out at Sonoma next weekend. So a couple road courses, which will be interesting to see for that NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I've come around to it more over the years, I guess, as I've broadened my horizons. I was, always never really liked road racing as a kid, but the more and more, they do it, it starts to grow on you, and it really does take a different driver set or a skill set. I remember guys when I was a kid, Boris said probably the name one. He anytime he got in a car on a road course, the set heads were everywhere, and he always stood a chance. So it's nice to see different drivers with different skill sets be able to wheel one of these things.
Or even like, Marcus Ambrose was always somebody that could pick up a win. He picked up a few wins at Watkins Glen there. Robbie Gordon was somebody that had a chance. Now it feels
Gordon.
like...
How did I forget him?
Well, now it feels like they run so many of them that obviously there's like Chase and Larson, and Denny Hamlin's gotten pretty good on the road courses as well. Now it's almost just another race weekend. Though whoever's got the best car and whoever's running well can just dominate like they normally would. I'm gonna go a different route, Zach, because we talk about growing up with NASCAR. I miss the Xfinity Series going to different tracks. When you'd have the Xfinity Series at Memphis or at Iowa, or one of the tracks that the Cup Series didn't go to.
Nazareth.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
exactly.
That race as a kid, I would always go to that race.
Yep, or like they used to go to Gateway. Cup didn't used to go there, or those type. IRP was a good one.
Yeah, those were neat. Those little mile tracks. I mean, they were cool. Just different bankings at those. They're real unique, and you're right. It really made the schedule kind of stand out. And to take another angle with that, it let the Busch guys run for their championship. I know they've kind of taken that away a little bit, but we saw 6-7 years ago, the Cup guys would go in there and dominate every weekend, and they had to make a rule to limit them to not run as much. So it was nice when they did their own thing.
Well, they've even changed the Truck Series to pretty much match the Cup schedule for the most part as well, which they were even on like another lower level of track back in the day. That was fun to see.
Yeah, Ron Hornaday was always my favorite truck driver.
Johnny Benson Jr.
There you go.
Had to represent for Michigan. Well, out front, still Dan McLaren. He's got a 19-second lead over Colin Johnson. Colin Johnson is the hard charger here, up 3 spots. So from the tail end to second. Preston Kramer in that 3rd spot, and then Brandon Dittmer, the last car on the track, there in that 4th position.
Yeah, and looking at lap times, they're pretty much right where they should be right now. So, barring some off tracks, I think we may be riding where we're going to finish here. But because guys like Cullen, I said it before, he's not going to set a blistering time, but he is by all means, he's one of the best at keeping the wheels on the track. And I don't see that 13 making a mistake here tonight.
Well, also, we will be coming to 18 or 17 to go, so getting closer and closer to that halfway mark. So you got to think, really, Preston Kramer, Colin Johnson, and Dan McLaren may be jumping in the pits around then, just to cut this into 2.
Yeah, if you're Dan and you have about a 14-year lead, you might as well get tires at the halfway point and go out here and just be smart. You've been running real hard in the beginning. You put down that fast lap time, and his last lap he got back down in the 1:19. So he's still pushing. You might as well cut it in half, go get tires, and be smart. Don't do anything that could hurt you.
So that last lap by Dan was a 1 minute 19. So just off his best time. This time he's up to a 1:21. So his blistering pace continues.
Yeah, he's to the point now where I think Dan, even when he pits, I mean, if Cullen stays out an extra lap, he would pass him, but I don't think Preston would even think about sniffing to get by Dan McLaren. He's got like, oh man, almost a 50-second gap. So Dan is looking good right now.
Did you see he squares that 77 machine up for that S's section of the track? As we'll jump back to that 07 machine, ride and watch Preston Kramer's. He makes a lap here around Sonoma.
And you talked about Dan, setting himself up coming out of the S's, and that's the highest speed part of the track is looking at the driver's top speeds. Dan McLaren's fastest mile per hour of the race is 140 mile an hour. Next closest was Brandon Dittmer at 134. So that just shows he's making up so much more time on those guys through the S's, and it's just airing, blazing speed coming out of there. And I mean, that's got to be a second difference per lap.
Well, working lap number 15. As we've got 13 people on the stream right now. Thanks to everyone staying with us here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder as we close out the NASCAR Xfinity Spring Season, week number 12.
They just can't get enough of us.
Well, you gotta start questioning how much of it's the racing, how much of it is the broadcasters.
That's what I'm saying. We've got half as many in the booth as they do on the track, and we've got 13 listening to us. So we're doing something right.
Doing something right on the track right now is Dan McLaren. His lead up over 23 seconds
Dittmer just looped it again. He did it in front of Cullen Johnston, but he's going to keep it off and let him go by, pull back on. Right thing to do if you're Brandon Dittmer.
He did that the last time as well when he had Preston coming up on him. He held down the brakes, which can be an issue some nights.
Yeah, we've seen it happen before. It definitely can be an issue, and it's one of those things where dang virtual racing, because you know as well as I do, Travis, spin one of these things out in real life, you're going to lock the brakes up. You don't want to hit, but P2's pulling in pit road here. Colin Johnson thinks it's time.
So Colin Johnson there makes his way as Dittmer goes by on the track. You got to think with someone on pit road, Dan might jump in this next time. As Dan off that curb hard there, that's probably one of the hardest curbs hit by Dan tonight.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if this is a push lap here, Travis, if he was just trying to really see how hard he could go with a low tank of fuel and maybe pushed it a little too hard, but kept it out of the wall, got a big lead, and now he can go in here and get some fresh rubber on that thing.
So through the S's, we'll see if he slows down for that pit entry. And not this time, so we'll come to 14 laps to go. Colin Johnson pitted on lap number 15. He held on to that second place in front of Preston. Oh, no, Preston made it by. So Preston just up ahead.
Yeah, Preston drove by right as he was starting to get that thing moved in the pit. So he's like 7 seconds behind. But as soon as Preston has to pull that thing back in the pits, which we know he's going to have to do at least one more time, Colin's going to inherit second place, no problem.
So Dan is still setting that pace. His last lap, which...
Another wreck for Dittmer. Sorry to interrupt you. He lost it coming out of the S's here.
And the car in rough shape with that latest hit.
Yeah, I applaud his efforts, but I imagine when fourth is locked up for you here and you're driving around frustrated, he didn't have the easiest night. I hope he sticks around with us, but I would not be surprised if he puts a nail in the coffin here.
Well, he's back in the pit area. Gordon Spain in 5th. He tapped out after lap number 1.
Man, Dan still isn't pitting. Wonder what his plan is here. So right now, Dan, it's just 18 laps. I imagine he would have cut that thing in half and put 4 tires on it, but he's still out here rolling. Just he's got to feel comfortable with the car, I guess. Last time by, yeah, slowed down. He's still in the 121, so he's, not as comfortable as he was there in the beginning, but still looks smooth. It didn't take much curb there through those last 2 sections, getting ready to come through the S's. It's all about right here. Yep, you see, you hear him come out of the throttle. He pulls back through. I mean, Dan, he's just so smooth through there. That's where he's making up all his time. And gonna see, is he gonna pit this time by? No, he's pretty far over to the left.
Nope.
He's gonna go around again.
Sticking with it. 12 laps to go when he crosses that line this time by.
Preston Cramner, too, you got to wonder how long he's going to try to make this thing go, because Cullen Johnston, he's starting to actually run him down. It was a 7-second gap when he pulled off pit road. He's cut that thing down to almost 2.5 seconds here.
Well, and Colin last lap was the fastest car on the track, even besting Dan McLaren's lap. So those fresh tires obviously benefiting him here. And Preston did pit on lap number 1, so he does have 1 lap fresher tires than Dan, if he took tires there, which he may not have. And you can see Colin Johnson close that gap on Preston Kramer in that hairpin. Oh, and Johnston goes around and into the tires.
Yeah, and he's got to hope that thing's handling okay. It looked like he hit it square enough in the door that he shouldn't have any handling issues. But, man, the guy I expected to, the least expected to make a mistake, made a mistake. And, Preston Cramner, maybe that's because of how he just wasn't going to let him by. Maybe made him overdrive a little bit. But our leader's finally in the pits here, Travis.
Dan makes his pit. And, Colin closed that gap on Preston. Preston still has to pit, so he's going to end up giving that second position back to Colin, as there was really no pressure needed there, but that gap closed so much in that hairpin. Oh, as now Preston Kramer will go around. He spins it back, as that will close up that spot for Colin Johnson. And it looks like Dittmer is still out there on the track, 2 laps down. As you can see, this group of cars now closing in on each other.
Yes, Dan McLaren just pulled off pit roads. You see a huge gap there back to P2. But Preston, if you're him, you just spun out. You got to pit one more time. Maybe you think about pulling it in the pits here. There he goes.
So Colin Johnson will take over that second spot. He's got Dittmer right behind him. Dittmer 2 laps down.
Oh, Cullen Johnston got a little loose there, and Brandon Dittmer thought about going around. He got in the wall there, going down the straightaway. And man, Brandon Dittmer, his car looks like a handful to drive right now.
He's able to pull away from Dittmer slightly there. It's not a battle for position, just 2 cars out on the track. Dan McLaren still out front. He's got a 34-second gap now with everybody pitted, and he is coming to 10 laps to go.
Like you say, definitely not for position, but, there Cullen just looped it around. And if you're Brandon Dittmer, that's why you're driving hard. That's why you're trying to push the issue. You want to make the guy in front of you maybe spin out, get in the wall, have to pit and get himself back in the conversation for a podium. You don't want to drive like an a-hole, but you do got to kind of stand your ground and, try to force another driver to make a mistake.
As Colin Johnson gets going back the right way, as you can see that gap to Dittmer. Dittmer not even on the screen there. And it still looks like with the issues that 13 has had since that pit stop, Zach, the car still doesn't look like it's the best handling machine out there.
No, definitely not. But, sorry. My wife found a tick on the dog, so I'm trying to give her something to sit the tick on to burn the tick. Sorry, I was a little distracted there. But, yeah, now Brandon Dittmer, his rear bumper almost looks like it's hanging off.
That would be the results of that last incident he had in the exit of the S's. So he's got a short track looking number 83 here at Sonoma tonight.
Yeah, that car looks like it just left Bristol. That's for sure.
Well, a car that is in pristine condition still is that 77 of Dan McLaren, as we've got 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and this isn't a shot on Preston at all, but man, that 77, he may lap the bottom step of the podium before this thing's over. There's not a very big gap between him and Preston right now.
As we'll go to that Tim Chapman Racing drone shot, and you can see Preston Kramer up ahead. And through the S's, Dan McLaren will head off into now.
Yeah, Dan's so smooth, no curve through the S's, and that's what it's all about. You don't want to off-balance the car. You see where Dittmer's had a little bit of trouble. He does take a little bit of curb through there, but if you do it correctly, it helps turn the car. You can't take too much curb. You just get it on that first section. Don't climb the curb the whole way, and help turn the car a little bit there. Or there, as you see, through that section, they like to split it a little bit almost. You find a little grip there on the inside. But Dan McLaren he's putting on a class here. Colin Johnston seems to have P2 pretty much locked up too after that pit stop, 25-second gap to Preston Kramer. So he's got himself a spin or two in the bag, but he just wants to be smooth. Even if you give up a second a lap, 2 seconds a lap, not enough time to run him down, as Dittmer looped it again here, I see.
So 8 laps, well, less than 8 laps to go here for Dan McLaren out front.
And, I don't want to jinx him here, but SDK Preston spun out. Is Preston... Oh, there we go. Now it's going. It almost looked like he was stuck there for a little bit.
He gets it going. Down the service road there. So that'll leave Dan McLaren and Colin Johnson, the last 2 on the lead lap.
Now, the real challenge is, can Dan lap himself tonight? I don't know if it's possible.
We're set to find out. 7 laps to go.
Now, this maybe isn't something you want to admit as a driver. But, I'm not the best driver in the world, so I'll admit it. This is where I've been in Colin Johnston's shoes before, actually to that 77 in a GT3 race when Bob Light used to dominate us. And when I was at this point, I thought to myself, maybe I just let him lap me so I don't have to drive another lap here, Travis.
Confessions of a driver.
And if you're Cullen right now, you got second locked up. Preston, after that spin, he's back there pretty far. You got a big gap. If you've had a long night, does the thought cross your mind, Travis, to just shorten the lap or the race by one lap for yourself?
I probably wouldn't be against it. You also have, even though they're spaced out and there's only the 4 cars out on the track we have, you're still working here being a road course. So I think it just comes down if you have integrity and honor, Zach, is what it comes down to.
Which, sometimes I lack. So as there you see Cullen Johnson on a off track, and then maybe that's why you're just like, hey, man, I'm just going to be smart here. I don't want to ruin this race car. I'm just going to coast here. It's another thing, too, I want iRacing to add, Travis, while we've got time to run our mouths. For these leagues, can't they give us a salary cap maybe? So that way if you're tearing up a bunch of cars, you maybe got to sit out for a week. I think that would be a neat thing for iRacing to add, a budget system.
Yeah, I've seen other leagues that obviously try to not just turn into a demo derby or just trash your car once you're out there by yourself and beyond. But it's definitely one of those things, like we said about holding the brake down. Treating a car in some ways on iRacing isn't always how you would treat it in the real world, especially if you're putting money into it.
No, yeah, exactly right. That's why, it'd be nice if there was some way, and I know there are leagues who try to implement it, but then you got people accusing people of not being fair, ruling accidents differently. It just be neat if we could get on iRacing and get them to throw in something like that. But with the rain they brought out and some of these new tracks they're bringing, I'm not going to complain. iRacing's doing a pretty dang good job.
That they are. Just more tracks. That's what I think. More tracks, the merrier.
Yeah, do they even have any real local dirt tracks to you on iRacing? I don't believe they do.
Nope, not down here. I mean, there's obviously a few tracks down here. Dixie Speedway is back open this year. They'd been closed the last couple years. I saw they're racing actually again Saturday night, so that's a good one. We've got Sequoia that gets all the series that comes through it down here as well. So obviously some good racing down here in the south, but they just have not ventured down here yet.
Yeah, I think, let's be honest, this wasn't, people ran it for dirt, but man, COVID really helped dirt explode, and it sucks that it took COVID to do that, but I think iRacing realized how much money they were missing on that dirt side, and man, they've really started to throw all they can at it, and they've done a good job. So let's see. Cullen Johnston, he's coming out of the S's right now as Dan McLaren's going into it. So Dan's got 3.5 laps here to go up and lap Cullen Johnston. That's the only story we have for you guys right
now. As you see, there's Colin out of that hairpin. And Dan headed towards the hairpin.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Dan knows he can loop this thing and pit again, even if he needs to. He wants to lap Cullen Johnston. I don't care what he tells us in this interview after. He's going to drive his behind off trying to go out there and lap him.
Well, his last lap was a 1:19, so still pressing it and still trying to chase him down.
So 3.5 seconds faster than Cullen, right? We're looking at 1:19 a lap. He's got 1:02 gap. Let's do some quick math. What is that? We make up like 16. Man, it's going to be really close if he keeps up this pace. It's going to be really close. One mistake from Cullen and Dan's going to be right there.
As we've got the Tim Chapman Racing drone shot out there, you can see Dan can't quite see Colin up ahead. As Colin is up there headed towards the hairpin right now. And, you know, looking at tonight, Colin should be our champion. And talk about it, you know, one of those consistency championships. No wins here in the spring season, but shows up every Thursday night here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series and runs well with a consistent car. And that's what will take him to that championship here tonight.
No, you're exactly right. But, you know, at the end of the day, there a lot of guys with wins, and, you know, they run this chase format. So consistency will get you so far. But if you get a lot of, man, I can't think of the word, a lot of, you know, different winners here, you know, he could find himself out of a playoff berth. So you really want to lock yourself in with a win is, you know, I missed the consistency days. I was a Mark Martin fan. He was Mr. Consistency as far as I was concerned. You know, didn't win a lot of races, but finished in the top 10 every week. And, you know, they've gone away from kind of rewarding that. They want you to win races now, and I respect it. But, you know, it's definitely a different type of racing nowadays.
As Dan McLaren up ahead, Preston Kramer in the pits. Dan McLaren through the S's. He will get that white flag this time by.
And Colin Johnston spun out real bad, like really bad. Nailed the, oh man, that I wonder if he can make it around. His right front tire don't work.
As he's into the wall there, coming to the start-finish line.
And that's where I said, you know, I was kind of talking out of my behind there for a little bit, but man, I was being dead serious. Take it easy, let the guy lap you, and, you know, lock up second place. And now all of a sudden, Preston Cramner, okay, he actually, I'm not sure what happened to Preston, but Preston's still in the pits. And with Cullen going around, he's got second place locked up, even with the damage. He's going to be a lap ahead of Preston Cramner. So with this long pit stop, Preston's going to be kicking himself that if he didn't have to make that pit stop, if he was just calling the race early, because he could have got another spot out of this.
Well, Dan's making his way around for the final time, so he will come to victory here. Another dominating performance, back-to-back weeks with road courses. It was Kemper last week at Road America. This week it's Dan McLaren at Sonoma. Is that 77 in honor of Bob Light, headed to victory lane here in wine country. One final hairpin, Zach, and McLaren will see the checkered flag wave.
Yeah, and you know, if you're here, glad you stuck around with us. I kind of called this one. Dan's, you know, this isn't a shot at anybody else. These guys could hang with him on an oval, but man, he put this man on a road course, and he's just on a different level than most other people, and he showed it. Not one off track tonight here, according to my SDK software. So he's fast and kept it on the track the whole time. It's Cullen Johnston. Look at this. He made it. He's gonna make it, Travis.
Slowly around that hairpin. Car not turning as well as he would like, but he will make it through. As he's trying not to cause an incident there. And he will make it around. Second place, Kramer in the third spot, Dittmer fourth, Spain in fifth.
That is the first time I think I've ever seen a car that damaged make it around and finish on the middle step of the podium. And Preston Cramner, he's gonna pull it out of his pit now. He knows he's got a podium shot to make. Oh man, what a race.
As you see Dittmer up ahead, he will finish now. As he will park it there as well, and then that will finish the race. Preston Kramer will beat Dittmer by 1/1000th of a second there, it looks like. As he just barely makes it to the line in front of him with that pit that he was in. And we'll wait for them to join us here as we'll interview Dan McLaren, Colin Johnson, Preston Kramer, our top 3 finishers here to the conclusion of Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. And we're going to bring them up, Shaggy. I'll throw it over to you. I think you've got Preston Kramer.
Yeah, cool deal. Hey, I see you trying to park here, Preston, but we're going to pull you up, man. Hey, not a lot of cars here tonight, but hey, able to do what it took to finish in P3, and I know I talked about him a lot tonight, and, we're going to talk about him for a long time, but hey, Bob would have been happy with you finishing on the podium at a road course.
Well, let me tell you, Bob would be laughing his ass off at me right now. So this entire time, give me just a second here.
No, yeah, you're all good. I see what you're trying to do. For everybody wondering, he's trying to get that thing in gear to park for this podium picture, so just give him a second here.
Yeah, so I started the race. Obviously, Gordon Spain and I had a little incident under the caution flag there, or under the pace laps, and yeah, I was very frustrated at first, but it's a road course. We don't do this real often, so I hope he's watching. I wish he hadn't quit. It's no big deal. I was able to still get out there and run around. And when I started the race, for some reason, I thought it was Dittmer that was running the 77 paint scheme, and he was just a couple of laps behind me at the end there. And so I figured, well, go ahead and get that thing back on the podium one last time. And as I was sitting in the pits waiting for the checkered flag to fall, I heard that it was actually McLaren. And so I quickly pulled across the line, managed to still pull off the podium. But that was, I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that.
Well, yeah, definitely, man, an eventful race. And let's be honest, he definitely wasn't up to Bob's level. But, man, you put Dan McLaren on a road course, he's tough to beat. So
100%.
Yeah, finishing on the podium with him, man, nothing to sweat about. Who you want to thank on that third place, Preston?
All my guys back at Aspire, Crate Sim Racing guys are always good to me. The Galen's Popcorn, you can always get your discount there, 15% off if you use code CART. Hope I did that right, Blake. Crate's Oval Track Parts, Epsilon Sprint Wraps. We'll end it there tonight, but we got a lot of people that always help us out, so always appreciate it.
You did the popcorn read exactly right, and I'm glad you did because you got to pick on him, man. He was in here twice. I don't remember the last time I saw him run 2 races in a row and not be able to talk about some popcorn. So you carried the torch tonight.
Yeah, hopefully somebody sends me some. I had to get Joe on that one. So yeah, thanks for being out here too, guys. It's always a good broadcast.
Yeah, congratulations, Preston, and congrats on third place, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, now joining us in the booth is our second place finisher. It's Colin Johnson. Colin, you officially lock up that spring season with a 15 points victory over Gordon Spain. Walk us through your night here to a second place finish.
Yeah, it was interesting. I wish we had more cars out there. It would have been a lot more fun, probably for both you guys and us out there on the track. But that last lap of the race, I was limping around a car, I think, without a right front tire because I hit the tires on the inside of the hairpin with coming to the white. So.
We saw it live because I was actually making the joke, Colin. Did it ever go through your head? Because I'm telling you, man, I'm the first person to admit when I used to run these road courses and Bob Light was kicking our you-know-what, if I had second locked up, I'd let him lap me so I didn't have to go around another time. Did that go through your head at all?
Actually, it was about 5 to go when I had, because tires mattered so much, and I had Preston about 30 seconds behind me. I thought about, why don't I just pit, take an extra set of tires, be a couple seconds a lap quicker than Preston, and finish right behind Dan. So, yeah, it did go through my head a little bit.
For sure.
And I gave you a hard time, Zach, so I apologize for that.
No, yeah, I told you, when it's out of touch, man, these guys, especially Cullen, Colin, I was surprised. I probably jinxed you. I'm probably the reason you spun out, but you're probably, the closest. And, take this as a compliment. Mark Martin was my favorite driver, but dude, you're one of the smoothest guys. You don't make a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, especially at a road course, you're not really pressing the envelope. You just do what it takes, and you came home with a second place, man. So good job.
Yeah, thank you for that, and hopefully we can start collecting more of these championships now that I got one. So.
Well, you come away with the victory of the championship there in the spring. Who are those people and those sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Team Watson Racing setups for sure. Roger for everything he does in the league. You guys for broadcasting every week, especially when it's 5 of us on a road course or 4 of us that ended up being after a while on the road course. And then my wife for putting up with us, 3-4 nights a week. So.
Well, great run. Congratulations, Colin. Our spring season champion, Colin Johnson, here from Sonoma. Now we'll throw it down to Victory Lane with Shaggy and Dan McLaren.
Hey, Dan. Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I sure do, ASMR.
Oh, man, here we go. Here we go. Well, I'll tell you what, dude. Man, it almost brings a tear to my eye saying it. Dude, you made that 77 look like it was him in there tonight. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. It's a total honor to be able to run his number on a road course in the Xfinity car, and get the pole and lead the laps and come home with the win. Anything less than that, it just But no, it was.
You did that with a 0X too, didn't you?
I got a 0X too.
That's true Bob Light style right there. I mean, that literally was. You drove that exactly how he would have, man. I mean, hats off.
Absolutely. Like it's, felt like he was in there with me, man. Like it was cool. I thought I'd surprise everybody by doing that. I just last second jumped on Trading Paints and found his paint scheme, and I was like, all right, well, let's roll with it, see what happens. And good thing. Glad I came home with the win.
Yeah, not winning the what are we in the spring season trophy here, but man, that's not the one that matters in these things. Another win, and man, you're setting yourself up real good for these trail points.
Oh, absolutely, and can't wait for the next season to start because I've got some more time on my hands, so I'll be able to run more races and hopefully race against these guys for a championship.
Well, hey, Dan, we love having you, man. You really bring a new talent level to the asphalt. Not many other guys have, and it's an art to watch, especially, running Sonoma 0X, man. That's freaking unbelievable. So congratulations, Dan. Who you want to thank on the win tonight?
You guys, first off, for these awesome broadcasts, and Roger and everyone behind the scenes for the league. You guys don't do this. We don't got somewhere to race. And I feel like the racing's getting better and better and harder. Like everybody's just so fast. Like I'm still struggling on the dirt and whatnot, but yeah, you guys for putting these on every night, every week, every season. Sucks that we didn't get a higher car count for this race, but hopefully more guys show up Tuesday night for Bob Light Memorial. Great night for Venom Racing. Jason Butters gets his first win of the season. And then Isaac in the big blocks. Didn't have the greatest luck in the late models, though, but persevered with the win in the Xfinity car.
Well, you ended the night with a W, man, and that's what matters, going out on top. And like I said, getting that trail win, man, that's everything come playoff time. So congratulations. Can't say you stole one tonight because, man, you lapped the field. But congratulations, Dan. Big win tonight, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
As that is Dan McLaren from Victory Lane, our winner here tonight from Sonoma. Zach, another exciting night of Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. And with that, the spring season here on Thursday night comes to an end. Any closing and parting words for our fans that hung with us here tonight?
Well, just coming from a guy who really, really, and I mean this with all my heart, really looked up to Bob Light, and what he was as a person didn't wreck anyone. was the most clean, aggressive driver I've ever raced with. It means a whole lot seeing that 77 on victory lane one more time, and means even more that it's at a road course. So thanks for doing that for us, Dan, and man, it was a dominating performance tonight.
Well, with that, we will close out. As always, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you at a racetrack soon.